Day 2, let's go.
Look at that guy's shirt.
Yeah, it's very bright.
I'm in on that.
Well,
I like that.
The golf polo has evolved. I don't know. That's like some sort of Miami cocaine Art Deco thing he's got going on. But the,
it is very Miami cocaine, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Like if you had a blow problem in the 80s, but you like to play golf in Florida.
It's Miami Vice.
Yeah, that's your outfit, Don Johnson style. But I do like that. If you want, now there is still a place that if you want the old man Callaway golf polo, it's there for you.
FootJoy.
Yeah, FootJoy. But there is a lot of like kind of, what are they like, I don't know, smaller brands that have popped up in the golf game. And you're seeing more and more guys that are putting a little flair out there.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
You can't always be wearing khakis and a...
I'll tell you what, man. Sometimes you look at guys playing golf, and look, golf's not the hippest sport in the world. And I'm not saying you got to go 80s blow
Far
problem,
from it.
Polo, but you got to admit, sometimes you see guys out there, even on the tour, and they're wearing the Jim Harbaugh slacks and like some FootJoy, and they're like, these are the most comfortable shoes ever. And then they're throwing on the Callaway polo with like 9 logos on the hat. It's not a great look.
Bad.
It's not a great look.
Yeah, it's bad. I tell you what, the bros got it figured out. You ever see the bros out there golfing?
Oh yeah, dude,
they got a good look.
Well, now you play like member guest, and like there's like the teams are like in outfits that are like matching. It's a whole thing.
Yeah, doing bits.
Yeah,
that's the way it should be.
I'm somewhere in the middle. Like
I am too.
I won't do the old man Callaway FootJoy, but that's probably like a loudmouth or a bad birdie sort of polo. I can't do that either. Because one, I don't live in Miami, nor do I have a coke problem. So, and I'm not like 25. So I try to go somewhere in the middle.
Well,
put a little style in there, but not,
I'm similar.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't need to stand out with my clothes.
No.
Like, I don't know what that is. You're just shouting, look at me.
You got to
right?
stunt on fools, man. You got to flex.
But I also don't want to look like a schmuck.
Yes.
So just, nice pants.
Well, like I wear like
nice shirt.
I really like a lot of the Jordan stuff. Jordan has gotten into the golf game, and I like a lot of their stuff. Bill Murray has a nice. I like some of the Bill Murray stuff.
Okay. Kind of expensive.
It is, but you wait until like the Black Friday sales or whatever, and you can kind of go golf. That's the other one too. Golf polos now,
not cheap.
It's not cheap.
Nope.
It's gone the way of the hooded sweatshirt. Like golf polos now, people want like $90 to $100. You get into like the G4 stuff.
Yeah,
that's a whole other.
That's a high end brand.
That's high end.
Yeah.
That's out of my range.
Well, I'm glad we covered that. We've got a guy out here in a Miami Vice cocaine shirt.
Well, if you're looking to score, I think you know where to go. He'll probably point you in the right direction.
Well, if you're just tuning in, our show is disseminating from A&A Casino at the Stadium Sports Bar. We were here yesterday as well, and we are back today. That's why there's quite a bit of scenery out here.
Yes.
Everybody's watching the NCAA tournament. Now, so far today, we have all blowouts with the exception of one game. San Diego State
UAB
only beat UAB by 4. That was a 5-12.
Still chalk, though.
But the other 5 games were all blowouts.
Yeah.
Now, the good news is that the 2 games going on right now are great.
Yeah, we got Colorado and Florida. That's a 10-7, and that thing's back and forth. I think 52-54 right now. And then Auburn and Yale. The SEC is having a bit of a moment right now in the tournament. And if Auburn, who is the SEC champ, if they go down to Yale, that whole Greg Sankey, we need more SEC teams in the tournament take, that's aging like that's bread. That's not wine. That's just old, moldy bread.
So we'll keep you posted on those. Colorado was down, I think, by double digits earlier, but they now have the lead on Florida, and Auburn is only up by 2 on Yale.
Yeah.
Those are the only 2 games going on right now. I did see that through the first day, 16 games, 99.992% of brackets had been busted. There were ESPN put out a number, and it said out of 22.1 million brackets, only 1,825 were perfect.
Now, I don't know about today's games, but after yesterday, I know that Bijan Robinson, the Atlanta running back out of Texas, he had a perfect bracket.
I bet he didn't.
That was just what that was the ESPN
He said
thing.
he did.
He said he did, but
Yeah.
yeah.
You know what's cute?
So he had Oakland beating Kentucky.
Well, maybe.
I guess.
I tell you, Oakland looked good.
Yeah, they did.
You know what's cute is we have so there's a bunch of fan personalities here.
Yeah.
From Odyssey, our all of our stations.
They're milling around.
We have a table, and I was over there for the last hour and a half, just hanging out. It is really fun to help somebody gamble for the first time.
Oh, you did baby bird wings. You did the floaties. You helped them?
Most of those guys over there, they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And look, I'm not saying bet this or bet that.
No.
I'm not here to tell you what to bet. You bet what you like.
Yeah.
What I will help you do is how it all works and the money and,
I'll admit that is fun.
Good practices, best practices. And so Patrick Harris, the young Patrick Harris.
He's not a gambler?
At all.
Boy, he looks like a gambler.
But he's not.
He smells like a gambler.
So Patrick Harris, he said, he smells like booze and cigarettes.
Which is a gambler, right?
Well, yeah, you would think. But no, he's not. He said he came here just to see what this vibe is all about. This is not his vibe. He's never in casinos.
Wow.
He never plays table games. He never bets sports. He watches sports, but he never comes to sports bars and stuff. So he is just in awe over there. And we helped him place his first 3 wagers. Do you want to know what those wagers are?
I hope they hit. What did we bet on?
Well, he has bet Oakland to beat NC State.
Okay.
Money line.
All right.
Plus 195.
I'm assuming you had to explain what plus.
Yes.
All right.
I had to. I said, do you want Oakland to just lose by a little, or do you think they're gonna? If you think they're gonna win the game, money line all day.
Yeah.
He took the money line.
Okay. I love it.
Then he went with Yankee. He hates the Yankees.
Yes.
And never spike bet. That's a bad. It's a bad way to go.
Yeah,
and I told him this, but he didn't listen to me.
That's problematic.
He thinks Yankees under 91.5 wins.
Okay.
And that's not a bad bet either, because if you look at that division, Baltimore,
it's tough.
Tampa, Toronto.
And the Yankees already have arm problems.
Cole's out. Yeah, I mean, come on. And then the third bet is a money line parlay.
Oh, boy. This is how he's started. He's
saying, look, no, I told him this is a good bet. And this was with my advice. I helped him with this bet.
Yeah.
And it's not the teams. It's that, hey, if you're going to parlay, you should parlay big minus money teams together so that it's just one regular bet.
Yeah, you don't put underdogs in your parlay.
You shouldn't.
No.
Like, it's a long shot. I mean, you can bet it. Yeah. It's just,
The whole point of parlays is that it's games that should win, but you string them all together.
That's right. Yeah. So he put North Carolina to beat Michigan State, which I love, because I don't know about you. Michigan State hasn't done anything but beat Mississippi State. Like, if you look at the end of the regular season, they didn't do much. No. It's not like this is a really underrated Michigan State team. Look, they played well against Mississippi State. North Carolina
is really good.
They're good, and I think they're only giving them 3.5, 4.
Okay.
So too much respect for Tom Izzo. We put North Carolina in there, and we put that with, famous last words, Arizona. Money line.
All right.
So Arizona minus 430 on the money line, with North Carolina minus 175 on the money line, pays like a straight bet minus 110.
Yeah.
He's good as gold for tomorrow.
I'll tell you what.
Now, I don't know if he's going to win, but he has things to root for.
I love
all the way into November.
I love that you have helped
it's great.
Another human being into the wondrous world of sports gambling.
I did love, like you said, the little, they're flapping their little wings like, I want to fly, I want to fly. Yeah. Oh, I can help you.
I love when I sit
Let's talk this out.
I love when I sit down to watch a game and one of my kids wanders in, and the first question they ask me is always, hey, what side are you on? And I love when when you get to explain, hey, this is what's happening, and I can see the glimmer in my children's eyes, and one day they're going to be like, Dad, I would like to place a wager with you. And when that happens, it's like having a beer with your son for the first time.
That's right.
The first time Eiserman comes to me and is like, Dad, I too would like Oregon minus 7, and I'm going to give him a hug and be like, I love you, son. I love you. Or he's like, Dad, are we getting the hook? And I'm just going to be like, just bring it in. Bring it in right now. Dad,
the little tear coming out the side of your eye.
Dad, I wasn't going to do it, but then we got the hook. We got 3.5. I'm like, bring it here. Bring it here, son. Let's go.
I'm going to Vegas for the first time with my kid this summer.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
We're taking the kids.
Are we excited, nervous how this is going to go? It's a big moment. I feel like you're not confident in how this is going to go. I can see the trepidation on your face.
Look, I can't wait. It's going to be fun.
All right.
At the same time,
Yeah. All right.
sometimes I like to sneak off on my own and do my own thing.
I understand.
Can we just leave it at that
yes.
with my
I understand.
even with my wife?
Yes.
And,
yes.
it's just like
I've been out with you plenty of times where you look around and there is no. That is one of my favorite things is when we're out like covering a game or something and we're with a group of people in the media or whatever and someone inadvertently just is like, hey, Rob? And they're like, what happened to Rob? And I just look at him like, you don't worry about that.
Yeah.
Is he coming
That's
back?
right.
And I'm like, you just don't.
I'll be back.
Yeah, just don't worry.
But in a casino, just
he's got his own things. Just
sometimes there are opportunities.
And let him be. Those are called opportunities.
So you just take them.
And I respect the opportunity. You always respect the opportunity.
Yeah, so anyway, we're out here at A, the Stadium Sports Bar. It's just as full as it was yesterday. Good times. Everybody's having a beer and food and screaming and yelling.
Oh, we've got
the women's tournament on, too.
Yes, the Portland Pilots, the last I looked, they were down by like 23.
They're down 16.
Yeah, they had cut it to like 10.
Oh.
Yeah, the last time I saw it was it had been whittled down. Yeah, 45-57 right now. So.
Oh, wow. Okay, down to 12?
Yeah, down to 12. About 30 seconds left to go in the third quarter.
Hey, can I bring up something that Swag texted me last night?
Why is Swag texting you?
Well, because he was in Manhattan, Kansas.
Oh, yeah.
And he felt it, me being from Kansas, he felt the need to text me.
Understood. He does that like when he's in Provo sometimes with me.
Okay, interesting, because that's exactly the topic. So he texted me from a bar called Tanner's in Manhattan, Kansas. And let me tell you, dude, Manhattan, Kansas absolutely sucks.
You have made that abundantly clear.
It is not good. It is in the middle of nowhere. It takes forever to get there. You can't fly directly in there. The only thing they have going for them is they have a good little football program.
Yeah.
That's it. They do have a little, a strip of bars, like every college town.
Sure.
It's not that fun. Bunch of butter hogs. Not great. He texts me and he says, hey, I'm at Tanner's in Manhattan.
He's going to go get him one of those Milwaukee butter hogs.
My only reply was, Manhattan sucks.
Yeah.
That's all I said.
Sure.
He replies, he goes, I've been to worse. And then my reply to that was, but not many. And then, you know what he said to me?
What?
He said, Provo, Utah is worse than Manhattan, Kansas.
Huh. Well, from a bar standpoint, yes. From a bar standpoint, yes. We have
Okay, but we're not just talking about bar. We're talking vibe, scene, fun.
No, because here's the
Come on, there is no way Provo is worse than Manhattan.
Well, let me state for the record, Provo sucks. Okay? I spent 5 years there.
Why do you say that?
Isn't
it pretty?
It is pretty.
And you have skiing pretty close?
Well, this is the best part about Provo. And really it's the big selling point. Is within 30 minutes,
Park City?
You're lots of really cool places.
Is it Park City close?
Yeah, Park City's close. Salt Lake is close. A lot there's you can go up into the canyons at American Fork. There is a lot of cool things to do around Provo. The cool things to do in Provo, zero.
Not one thing. Like no. There's not even even though it's a college town, and I know it's a Mormon town, but
when I was there,
we
had one bar.
One.
And I'm telling you, you had to be careful because they will narc on your ass. Like, we couldn't go to that bar.
See, I guess I've never thought about it. I assume that in Provo, just because it's a college town, and I get it's LDS and everything, but I figured there was just a bar district just like everywhere else.
No.
There's not.
No, there's one, the main
one
street.
One bar.
So it's a coordinate system, right? So there's a center street, which is obviously what divides the town. There's a strip there. And you would think when you go to Provo, you're going to think that's the bar district, right? Because there's restaurants and there's little shops and it looks like that. But and I don't know, like granted, I graduated in 25 years ago, right? 2000, 2001, I was out of there. But when I was there, we had one bar. There was one bar and one tattoo parlor on that strip, and that was it.
And was the bar fun?
I don't know. We didn't go.
You couldn't go.
Well, it was told to us that and this wasn't like urban legend. Players had been caught. People, the pastime in Provo is ratting people out. So that's why you have to seek your entertainment in other parts. You have to leave. Now, you can go to Orem and you can go to American Fork, and they have bars, but that's not Provo. That's why I said the Provo is not good.
Okay.
But you can leave Provo. Like Park City is amazing. Salt Lake is a great city. You can go to the nudie bars in Salt Lake. Whatever you want there in Salt Lake.
Okay.
You just Provo.
So is he right that Manhattan is better than Provo?
If we're just saying.
No, we're just vibe.
If you are saying Manhattan and Provo, that's it.
Vibe.
Manhattan.
Wow.
Manhattan.
I can't believe that.
It's true.
No kidding.
Provo's cleaner. Provo's nicer.
Yeah.
Provo has hotter girls.
But not the better vibe.
But a vibe? No.
There's no vibe.
No. In order to
not even a soaking vibe.
In order to find a vibe, you have to go underground. You have to go find
so there is a vibe. It's just
it's underground.
Under.
Yes. You have to go find people that are like-minded.
Okay.
To go get into some nefarious stuff. But even then, you got to be careful.
Tell you what.
Because you can get ratted out, and then you end up before the honor code, and then you got to lie.
I tell you what, I'm shocked by this. Because Manhattan sucks. Trust me.
Well, I hate to say this, but so does Provo.
Wow.
But if you're giving me the surround, because what's within an hour
Nothing.
of Manhattan? All kinds of cool
silos.
All kinds of cool stuff around Provo.
So that contributes to the vibe.
Yes.
Wow, that's interesting. I can't believe that. All right, well, Swigard had a good time. He had a Manhattan in Manhattan, and UP is losing, so it's probably one and done.
Yeah.
And
he texted me once from Provo, the one bar in Provo. This was years ago, and he said, "I can't believe you made it here 5 years."
Yeah, he hated it.
It's my greatest accomplishment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you see the Juicy for Up guys are here?
There it is. Look at that.
Juicy for Up shirts. What's up, gentlemen?
Go
Cheers.
Beavs.
Cheers.
Hey, we have
Juicy
cameras now, so bring one of them around the other side so that the people on the camera on the YouTube screen can see the Juicy for Up.
Hey, Juicy for Up bros. Hey, come here. Can I turn this, or are you turning this? He can turn it. Okay, we're going to get you on camera.
Yeah.
We got a YouTube
people
stream,
need to see.
so the people.
Yes, we got be on. Be on.
You're doing great.
You're doing great. Awesome.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah, we're gonna swim this.
Look at the Fu Man on that guy.
Look at that thing.
Fantastic.
That right there. Those are two of a kind. Look at that. Juicy for Rob shirts.
There we go. Look at that. Look at that, YouTubers.
Oh, it's glorious. It's glorious.
Great.
Read them and weep.
That is fantastic.
Oh, beautiful.
So juicy.
So.
I can tell.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a break, and when we come back, we'll get going with today's radio broadcast. It is poll question time, and I've got an update on the Isaac and Suk Drop Bracket Challenge. Coming up next on The Fan.
The home of Dirt and Spray.
I'm Dirt. What do you want Oregon Hoops to be? I think people don't go to the games as much because it's such a corporatized arena.
Yeah,
Mac Court was pretty special. It felt old-timey, big game-ish, smelled like urine and popcorn. There was a character to it. I don't think people go to games based on how the coach acts on the sideline.
Yeah. Dirt and Spray. Weekdays 6 to 9 a.m. on 1080 The Fan.
Now, here's a quick look at Portland traffic.
Already a long, slow drive on I-5 northbound from Southwest Taylor's Ferry to Highway 84. Then it breaks up a little bit, and then it's solid again from Lombard over the Interstate Bridge. 205 is a little better. I'm Claire Beverly with traffic.
This traffic report brought to you by
Warren Allen, attorney at law.
I'm George McCoy with Warren Allen, attorneys at law. Spring is here, and with it, you'll see faster drivers, drivers affected by allergies, and drivers with worn-out wiper blades. If you're injured in an accident, call me, George McCoy, to get what you deserve. Online at warrenallen.com.
double checking for you.
Okay.
So I Googled Provo, Utah bars. And ABG's popped up, and that was the one on Center Street. That's the one that was there when I was there.
ABG's.
ABG's.
Okay.
We called it fat. We called it fat or Big Churls, because we had our Lavelle, the lady that ran the football office, like Lavelle Edwards' personal assistant, was a big gal named Shirley who was there forever. So we always joked that Shirley moonlighted at running the only bar in Provo, so we called it Big Churls. But it was ABG's. And then the other two bars, and then when you Google Provo, Utah bars, is Wingers, and that is a wings place. Think like Buffalo Wild Wings. That's not a bar. But
it has a bar.
I think you can buy alcohol there, but no, there is no bar. It's a wing restaurant, but I think you can order a beer, but there is no bar.
What do you mean? There's no bar, but you can get a beer?
Yeah, it's a restaurant, but there's no place to sit at. You don't.
Okay, so it has this like a cooler of beer.
Yes, and then the next one down
is wrong with Provo?
Is the Olive Garden.
Oh, God. Get out of here!
I kid you not.
Italian restaurant.
Olive Garden.
Oh my God. I had no idea about Provo. Now, can I ask this question? If you are the owner of ABG's,
yeah.
Is that a good, since, I mean, you're basically
it's the only
game in town. Is that a good gig?
I don't know. It's got 5 stars. Well, 4.
Does Big Churl make money? It's got what stars?
4.8 stars.
That's pretty good.
And
but there's nothing to compare it to.
I just love that in the 20 plus years since I've left, not another bar is. My guess is if you open a bar in Provo, be ready to go out of business.
Well, I'm guessing they probably won't let you. I mean, it's probably hard to do it.
Yeah.
And why would anyone jump through all those hoops?
Yeah, you wouldn't.
Because there's already a bar there. Wow. I guess I've never thought about this, but it all makes sense.
Yeah.
It's just
it is a different world.
That's unfortunate.
It is a
Why
different.
the hell did you go there? Good grief.
I tried to leave after a year and they wouldn't let me.
What was it? UCLA and that?
Washington State, UW, Oregon, UCLA, Provo.
You would have thrived in Pullman.
You idiot. You would have thrived in Pullman.
That's one of the reasons why I didn't go, though, honestly.
Smart.
I thought you wanted the structure?
I thought if I went certain places, I thought I may go off the rails.
So I was talking to Patrick about Pullman, and he said Pullman's no different than Manhattan. And I said, dude, have you ever been to Manhattan? No. Well, okay, so then shut up.
Yeah.
And second, Pullman, yes, it's a town in the middle of nowhere with a college, and that's really all that is. I mean, in that way, it's very similar. But you've been to Pullman.
Uh-huh.
Pullman has a good vibe.
Great vibe.
It's fun.
Great vibe.
You know, a college town should be fun.
Yes. Provo is
pretty
not
much
fun.
Every college town, to some extent, is fun. Now I'm finding out Provo isn't even that.
It's not. You have to leave.
Fascinating.
In my
So where is the best place to go? You're in Provo.
Yeah.
Let's say I go to Provo for a ski trip or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Where do I go? What's the closest place I go to have a good time? Salt Lake?
Orem. You can. It's just one town over, and you can find stuff in Orem. But I would say go to Park City.
Yeah.
You'll have a great time.
Park City's like Aspen, right?
Park City is amazing.
Yes. Yeah, it's like a big ski town.
Yes. And it doesn't matter. Summer, winter, there's always something to do there. The Hots are out that have money. Now, are they the Mormon Hots or the regular Hots? Both. But the Mormon Hots that want to go and get away from their husbands. Like, if you're a young man, if you want to be in the cougar den, if you want to get slapped, if you want to get attacked by a cougar.
Yeah. Were you about to say slapped around?
If you want to get slapped around in the cougar's den, if you want to be batted around like a ball of string, you be a young 20-something, and you get up to Park City, and you look for that 45-year-old gal that's divorced.
Okay.
The kids are a little bit grown.
Okay.
And she's looking
now,
to try
is she
something.
Mormon?
She was.
She was, and now she realizes.
And she's looking to try something different.
Okay.
She was very buttoned up and did everything she was supposed to do for the last 20, 25 years.
And it just didn't work for her.
And it didn't work for her. The husband left her. The kids are gone. She's a little bit bitter. She's ready to try the other side of the aisle.
Is the husband the straight-laced husband, or is he the off-the-rails husband? Probably the straight-laced husband.
Probably the straight.
And
or he went off the rails with the secretary, and now she's bitter. You know, my aunt was like this. Like,
oh my God.
It happens. And so you can go up there. Look, I'm just saying I had a really good time in Park City, probably better than I should.
How far is it?
It's not too far. It's Park
Are
City
you
to
Googling
Provo.
right now?
I am. I would say like an hour.
Shouldn't you know this?
I want to say it was like an hour and change.
Oh, okay. That's a little far.
Hour 10, 45 miles.
Anything under an hour is good.
I was going to say, I think it's always a little bit over an hour because you run into some, it's an hour.
A lot of people
and to Salt Lake,
flocking there, so traffic is bad.
And Salt Lake's more like 45 minutes to an hour. Again, everything's within an hour.
I'm embarrassed for Provo.
Well, it's Provo. What do you
It's the Mormon town. It feels like it should be. It is exactly as it should be, kind of.
Have you been there?
No, but I wouldn't expect anything exciting from a bar standpoint.
I wouldn't either, but I would expect more than what he's describing, just because it's college.
Well, you'd be ready to be disappointed.
Yeah.
But it's not necessarily a full-on. There's lots of people that live there that aren't college people.
I know.
And I'm telling you, the
All
national
right, well-
pastime of Provo is ratting on other people, so you got to be careful.
You're all up in each other's business.
Well, that's why I moved so
Why?
much. I told you, I think 17 places I lived in 5 years.
Look at Colorado, by the way.
What, are they getting... Okay, they're up. Sorry, my visions, I was like, what? They're up by 10
Do you need
now.
glasses?
I do.
You should get LASIK.
I have glasses, I just
King
don't,
LASIK.
I don't wear them.
85-75 Buffs over the Gators. How about that?
All right, go Buffaloes.
Yeah, that's a good little team.
That
Well,
dude
they should
Lampkin
be.
looks like he could be on Coach Prime's O-line.
Well, they've got two guys again that are supposed to be like one guy that's he doesn't even start. He's supposed to be the Blazers are supposed to pick him at 5 overall,
Who?
and then they've got an all Pac-12 guard.
Wait, who?
Colorado.
I know. What's his name? You're talking about De Silva?
No, it's not De Silva.
Simpson?
No, it's Cody Williams.
Cody Williams.
Oh, Cody Williams.
He's
Okay.
like the small forward, but I don't think he even starts. And then they've got a guard. De Silva's the forward. Then they've got a guard that's an all Pac-12 guy that's supposed to be a first-round pick.
Is Colorado going all the way?
Colorado's they're like Kentucky. They're not that good, but they supposedly have a bunch of NBA players.
How about that? All right, let's get to our poll question today. It is up on X at 1080 The Fan. It is brought to you by AAA Heating and Cooling, family business, helping families for over 60 years. AAAIAQ.com. Yesterday, we asked you which sports day makes you feel the most alive. Big college football Saturday won that at 38%. Next was Super Bowl Sunday at 23%. Followed by first day of madness, 20%, and opening day, 19%.
I'm a madness guy.
I'm an opening day guy.
Yeah.
Clearly in the minority.
Little nostalgia. By the way, the looks like the Portland Pilots are sunk.
Yeah.
70-59 with about 3.5 to play.
Well, at least
We
they
made it competitive.
Look at the bright side. At least they get to get out of Manhattan, Kansas.
Exactly. They don't have to stay another day.
Here's today's question. Today's question is, who is the better men's basketball coach? Okay, this is very provocative.
Okay.
I've come hard on a Friday.
All right.
Mark Few, Dana Altman, John Calipari, Kelvin Sampson.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Only one of them has a national championship.
Yeah. Who's the better coach?
Boy, that's pretty good. I
thought about putting Tony Bennett in there.
I got to say Mark Few.
Yeah, I think Few's going to win that.
It should be Mark Few.
Yeah. Few, Altman, Calipari, Sampson. Vote hard. The question is up on X at 1080 The Fan. We will talk about John Calipari today. A lot of people are calling for his ouster since he's
got a lifetime contract, though, so you can't really ouster him. But
well, you can fire him.
Yeah.
You can always fire him.
If you see the buyout is extensive.
Well, I don't think they should fire him. I mean,
well, he's talking about having to he did the who else did that? The Bennett. Both were like, maybe we examine our philosophies.
Well, look, they're both really good coaches.
Yes.
I don't think the answer to either program's woes is firing those two dudes, but what do I know? So we'll get to that today. But up next, we've got the latest on the Isaac and Suk Bracket Challenge on 1080thefan.com. It is 3:32. Let's go to Buck with SportsCenter.
Now.
Rocking you.
Ow! That's what we do on a Friday. With hot Provo, Utah talk.
I've come hard on
the
a Friday.
bingo card.
4-seed Auburn leads Yale by 4 coming down the stretch.
I'd love to see the SEC go down again because Florida's going down. In fact, I think the SEC went 0-3 yesterday. And if Florida and Auburn both go down, have we had it? I don't think we've had an SEC team win.
Yeah, that's a good question. Off the top of my head, I don't think one has one.
I'm pretty sure.
Kentucky lost, South Carolina lost,
Tennessee
Mississippi
won.
State
Tennessee
lost.
beat
Tennessee beat the brakes off St. Peter's.
There we go.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. What a great league.
Alabama plays Charleston tonight.
Sankey was right. They need more. We need like 9 more teams in the SEC in the tournament.
Well, Auburn's up 4 with about 3 minutes left, and then Colorado is taking control.
Yeah, they're up by 10. They pulled away.
They're up by 10 on Florida, and that's a hell of a the Pac. Look at the Pac-12.
Yeah, it's the ghosts of the Pac-12. Hey, and if you're a Bee fan, I know every Beaver fan's bitter and angry, but just know. Every Oregon win, every Arizona win, that's $1 million more that they're putting right in your pocket.
That's true.
You get all this money. They get units from the NCAA tournament, and that still stays with you. So believe it or not, it behooves you to root for the remnants of the Pac-12.
All right, let's get you updated on the Isaac and Suk drop bracket. This is available for you at 1080thefan.com. Yesterday, we had 4 first-round matchups for you, and you can vote on these on X, on Twitter, at 1080thefan, okay? Now, I got to tell you, yesterday's games were all blowouts.
Yeah, it was not competitive.
So we have, from the ROP Regional, these are first-round games, then the Boners Rewards Program.
I do love the Boners Rewards Program.
That beat What Were the Old Balls Like?
What were the old balls like?
67% to 33%.
Yeah.
So Boners Rewards moves on.
Then the Bonus Rewards program kicks in.
Also from that regional, you have should I go left, should I go right? How do I get in that little girl's toilet?
Now,
Should I go right? Should I go left? Damn it. How do I get in that little girl's toilet?
We had a listener yesterday, old Arizona State guy, who was all kinds of pissy and moany about what drops made it in.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, what about the toilet one? That didn't even make it. I'm like, it did make it. And so he was relieved. He wants that to go all the way.
Should I go right? Should I go left? Damn it. How do I get in that little girl's toilet?
He thought that the powers that be were not going to allow controversial drops like that one in the
how did he not
tournament.
know that was not in the tournament?
I don't know. Well, I don't
Do
think
your homework.
It's what I said. Like he thought that I prefer the whites. He's like, there's only one reason that didn't make it. He's like, you guys are afraid that that's going to win. He thought that we were the powers that be were keeping it down.
Hey, look, man.
That we couldn't have the whites.
the white power. There's a committee that handles all
That's
this.
what
okay?
I said. I was like, complain to someone else.
Right. And I listen. I don't. It's not like I don't have my own complaints about some of these drops.
Exactly.
But it's out of our hands.
We didn't do this. We just set them.
Okay, so that was up against You're an Idiot, Suk.
Yeah.
And
You're an Idiot, Suk.
there it is.
Yeah.
Dave Bartu.
Yeah.
The winner was easily.
Should I go
Little
right?
Girl's
Should I go
Toilet.
left? Damn it. How do I get in that little girl's toilet?
61%.
I'll tell you what, the little girl's toilet's going to be tough to beat.
It is. That's a good.
The little girl's toilet right now is playing really well. They're shooting the three. They're defending.
And just so you know,
it's tough.
Just so you know, that drop is in reference to a snake.
not Rock wanting to literally be in a little girl's toilet.
That's the thought process of a snake from the snake's perspective?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. How do I get in that little girl's toilet? Which way do I go? How do I do this?
Got to find a way in there.
Okay, Suk Regional, yesterday's first round results. The era has become was up against This Is Much Ado About a Whole Not a Lot of Nothing.
This is Much Ado About Not a Whole Lot of Nothing.
I'm kind of I have preferential treatment towards that.
Total blowout.
I love that one.
This was a complete blowout.
Yeah. Much Ado?
Nope.
Really?
The era has become.
Yeah, people love the era has become. Huh?
This was a huge upset.
This is Much Ado About Not a Whole Lot of Nothing.
Well,
So the Era Has Become moves on. And then the other one in the Souk Regional, now this is going to be a tough one to beat.
Yeah.
You had golf.
That just belongs on a shirt, by the way. It really does.
And that's you trying to say the word golf as in the game of golf. Oh.
What just happened?
Yale has taken a 73-72 lead on Auburn.
Yes.
With 2 minutes left.
The SEC champion. Oh, I think Patrick is claiming he's got some money on it. Oh, everyone else does.
See, Patrick's loving this. This is Patrick's first foray into what this event is like.
Well, this is the right kind of game to get involved in.
Yes. You always get one of these. Every session there's one of these.
Yep.
Right? Okay, so your show's better than this is Seth Everett.
Your show's better than this.
Going up against golf. And golf is Souk trying to say the game of golf, and then Jared Goff, but it sounds exactly like he's saying golf.
Yep.
So clearly the winner there, 70% golf.
Yeah,
and that's right.
Golf. I'll tell you right now, golf is going to be tough to beat.
Golf.
Yeah, that's a good one. That should make a run.
It's a strong effort.
Very poised to make a run. So right now, here are the drops that have advanced. In the ROP Regional, rocking you on a Friday. Come on, ROP. What an exciting time, and ROP is an idiot.
Yeah.
Also, the Boners Rewards Program, and should I go
Boners
right?
Rewards Program kicks in.
Should I go right? Should I go left? How do I get in that little girl's toilet? All of those have advanced. Okay, Souk Regional, first round winners. Sports is sports. Football is football.
Yeah.
Golf. The Era Has Become My Son is an Idiot, and it's thick, it's meaty.
Well, I'll tell you what, this is going to be tough. There's no more easy matchups here.
Now, we have 4 more first-round matchups, okay? And they are up for vote now on X at 1080 The Fan. ROP Regional, you have Malicious Fecal Distribution.
Yep.
This is Malicious Fecal Distribution.
Going up against the classic Chip Kelly. Can you guys shut up?
Chip making a couple appearances on the program.
And then you also have Come On, You Dumbass, Eat Me.
Come on, you dumbass. Eat me.
Versus What It Do. Hey, What It Do?
The famous.
What It Do. And then in the Souk Regional, you have I Would Like to Know Things.
I would like to know things.
So sad.
Yeah, I know.
Versus They Just Sit There and Pound You.
They just sit there and pound you.
And then you have Roster Boner.
And then a roster boner.
Now that's one that I'm not sure why that's on the bracket.
I think that's a weak.
It's a weak entry.
That's a weak entry.
And of course, it's going up against Ahoy.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Ahoy!
Come on.
Yeah, I mean, where's the white power rankings? That's.
Yeah.
I prefer the whites. I mean, that should have been it.
So vote on those now. They are up on X at 1080 The Fan, and we'll close the voting probably tomorrow. And then we'll be done with the first round, and then next week we'll reconvene and we'll get into the. Well, I can't say. We'll get into the fun 16. How about that?
There you go. The semi-delicious
the
16.
Sexy 16. We'll get into that.
The bittersweet.
And if you want to see the whole bracket, you can at 1080thefan.com. Okay, we'll get into some bracket talk. The selection committee doing bits, and. I don't know. Should John Calipari be moving on?
That's an interesting. I think there's an intrigue there for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes good coaches it's just time.
Yeah.
You know, even though you know they're good. 347 on The Fan.
The Fan is live on YouTube, Twitch, and now Window Nation brings you the window into the Fan. On-demand YouTube video shorts with your favorite fan shows and hosts. The window into the Fan is brought to you by Window Nation. Get 50% off all styles of windows. Plus, pay nothing with no interest for 2 full years at windownation.com. Watch Window Nation's Window into the Fan every day on YouTube with 1080.
Bar and Grill here at A, where there are a lot of upset people here because our reporters on the street, and by street I mean roaming around the crowd here, are saying that there is a lot of money on Auburn in this place.
Yep.
And right now, the 4-seed Auburn is down 73-72 to Yale. Yale on the free throw line, and you know Yale makes free throws.
Oh, yeah.
74-72 with 45 seconds left.
You know, and this was one of those when you were going through, like if you're filling out a bracket and you're listening to the experts, there were a lot of people that liked what Auburn was bringing to the table. Auburn as a 4-seed was kind of a sexy team in a lot of experts' minds, and they're about ready to go down to the smart kids.
Well, this leads into the Calipari discussion pretty well. No one's immune.
No.
You know, it's like, I don't know. When you see Calipari get bounced, I think it's hilarious because I don't like him.
Yeah.
At the same time, that stuff has happened to Kansas. It's happened to Duke. It's happened to North Carolina. It's happened to
be honest,
Gonzaga.
I'm not taking shots. It should have happened. It easily could happen to Kansas. That was not a foul.
Oh, last night,
That was not a foul.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, Kansas had 2 years in a row where they were bouncing the first round.
What?
Yeah, in
was it Bucknell or something?
So it just and nowadays, especially with the parity, you know, I don't know. I don't think it's an indictment on Bruce Pearl if he loses this game. He's the coach at Auburn. I just feel like it's just tough. Like this Yale team. I'm watching this game. This is the first time I've seen Yale. Nobody's seen Yale. Dude, they're big.
Yeah.
They're a bunch of big white dudes.
Yeah. Well,
and they're tough.
And they're old guys, too. And
Exactly.
And this is what Cali... Did you listen to any Calipari after the game?
No.
So, I mean, he went... Yeah. Part of me was saying, well, good for him for being open and honest, but then there was other part of me that was like, dude, just get over yourself.
I have a little bit of that. Would you like to hear it?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, play some of the Calipari stuff.
This season, these guys got so much better. They're so good to each other. It's celebrated. To define their season and our season with this game, it's the sport we're in. It's it's what we do. But that's what I'm disappointed for them because they deserve this. The preparation, I thought they were great. I thought the spirit was great. I thought we tried to keep it light. But this tournament, this kind of stuff, and this one hit me hard for them, because again, I just thought I had a team that could do some stuff.
Yeah, and he went on.
Well, I didn't mind that.
No,
what are we complaining about there?
He went on and he talked about how he was. Well, first off, I do mind that a little bit to say that your season isn't defined. When you're John Calipari and you're Kentucky, I'm sorry, but bowing out 4 out of the 5 years in the first round, that does define who you are. It may not define those players and what they do going on, but it certainly defines your program. Kansas and Kentucky and teams like this, I'm sorry, but getting to the tournament doesn't define you. I mean, my God. I mean, that's the whole purpose of being a blue blood.
Oh, damn. Florida just hit a long three.
They tied it, huh?
To tie Colorado 100 to 100.
7 seconds, and Colorado's going to call timeout.
Holy crap.
6.1, Colorado with the ball, and here we go.
I hope you bet the over.
Yeah. So, I know, how about a college game being 100 to 100?
Right.
But no, what Calipari then would go on to say is he was talking about how he may have to rethink his philosophy of basically recruiting 5-star kids. Because in today's world, the 5-star kid is losing to people that are hanging around for 4 and 5 years. The one-and-done era of going out and thinking that you're going to get 5-star freshmen and that's going to win a national title, those days are done. It is over. I mean, that is, you look at the teams that are succeeding in the tournaments, that is not the model anymore. It just isn't. But Calipari made this big deal about how he's sad about that era ending because he may have to start recruiting more kids that are going to stay and develop. And he's helped so many kids and so many families get to the NBA. Get over yourself. You really think that the only reason you only think the reason Devin Booker's in the NBA because he went to Kentucky? Stop it.
Well, he was the one and done guy, though.
Yeah. So,
you know?
but he's making it out like, well, I'm selfless and this isn't the best way to win, but I just love these kids and their families so much.
Yeah.
He's saying he's here to be a stepping stone for them, and he's been great at that.
Exactly.
And it's
You're
like,
telling me
okay,
that
that's not your job, though.
The Kentucky job is a stepping
Well,
stone?
now you understand why I can't stand Calipari.
Dude, it was some of the most self-serving BS I've ever heard. I was such an eye roll.
Well, he's a douche, and he's I don't know. I think he is such a greaseball that I think he'll just say whatever at the time that makes him feel the best, you know?
Yeah.
I just don't think, I don't know. He's shown his true colors, okay? Ooh. Oh!
That's in!
Colorado, 102-100.
They shot a baseline jumper and it
Three-quarters court heave!
Oh! Colorado got him. That ball hit the rim 9 times before going in.
Look at the buffs. You got to love that.
It's the Pac-12!
Pac-12!
It's Division I basketball!
Tad Boyle, who still wears a suit and tie on the sideline. Good for him.
I love it.
Okay, now the other game is Yale is up 3, 77-74 on Auburn with 32 seconds left. Auburn with the ball down 3.
Yeah.
Okay, let's carry over the Calipari thing because there's a lot to chew on here.
Yeah.
And also what Tom Izzo said about automatic qualifiers. We'll have more bracket talk coming up next. The Buffs advance. Whoa.
Boy, this Yale Auburn thing is.
Looks like Yale.
I think Yale's going to do it.
Up 3, going to the free throw line.
Yep.
All right, we'll reset you when we come back. 3:58 on the Fan. Here at the Stadium Sports Bar at A, where we have just had two of the better finishes of the first round of the NCAA tournament so far. Colorado hits a buzzer. Well, wasn't a buzzer beater.
About 1.5 seconds left.
Hit a shot to win and beat Florida 102-100. So Pac-12 team moves on to the Sweet 16.
That's another $1 million in the pocket of the Pac-2.
Wait, not Sweet 16. Sorry, that was their second win. They move on to the second round.
Yeah, because they had to be in the play-in. So,
but we also had while we were away, we had Yale hold on to beat Florida. Boy, did you see that finish?
Yeah, it looked like Yale had the thing sealed up.
Oh my God!
And they left a window open, and Auburn had a couple shots there at the end to win that game.
They had 3 looks.
Yeah.
Okay, so the score was 78-76 Yale. Florida on the free throw line with 2 shots with 6 seconds left. He missed both of them. But they got the rebound and got a couple of looks, including a three-pointer. Missed it. And Yale, all the white guys from Yale have advanced.
The Whites.
The Whites.
So, really, we only have one. Alabama, right, is left to play.
SEC.
The SEC. So Tennessee moved on, and I think everyone else in the SEC has gone down.
That's hilarious. Well, no, A&M.
Did A&M win?
Well, they haven't
played yet.
They just started. They're playing Nebraska right now.
By the way,
let's just say this for everybody: go Nebraska.
Buckley pointed this out the other day, but have you seen that? You know how the selection committee does bits? You know, like they'll pit teams against one another.
Well, like setting up Altman to play Creighton.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
They do bits like that. Did you realize that Texas A&M and Nebraska are playing in the first round in both the men's and the women's tournament?
I did not.
The reason for that being the Nebraska AD just left for Texas A&M.
But that would have had to be set up before that happened, right?
I don't think so.
Really?
I don't think so.
Is that a shot at? It's just
it's not a shot.
Little controversy
they
going?
They just like to pit.
Yeah.
They just like to
interesting matchups.
They do bits. Yeah. Exactly.
All right.
At any rate,
and by the way,
the other thing about that is with Texas A&M and Nebraska on the women's side, I believe the winner of that game plays Oregon State. Should Oregon State win tonight?
Yeah, because A&M Nebraska is at Gill.
Yeah,
that's going down.
So if Oregon State beats Eastern Washington tonight, they play the winner of A&M and Nebraska.
And the Lady Pilots officially won and done 78-65.
It's over.
And so we think.
No, it's really
over. And then the Lady Beeves, I think 5 o'clock tonight.
That's right.
If I'm not mistaken.
So back to Calipari.
By the way, they're like 19-point favorites.
So John Calipari, it's interesting. You know, they lose in the first round, and they have now. So in the last 5 seasons at Kentucky, they have had. Well, one of them, the tournament was canceled.
Yeah.
One, they didn't qualify, and then 3 straight first or second round exits.
Yep.
He hasn't been to the Final Four in 10 years. However, if you zoom out much further, in 15 seasons at Kentucky, he's gone to 4 Final Fours and he's won a title.
Yeah.
And he did it with Anthony Davis, and he was the one and done guy. Like that, he made that work. He was kind of that guy who embraced that.
That was a long time ago.
It was, and it's changed now. You know, the landscape has changed, even to the point where you were saying he's now saying
he said that
maybe I should switch it up.
He said that he was much like Tony Bennett. He said that he was going to have to examine how to go about doing this, but that was the part that bothered me, is he made it out like he's only getting these 5-star freshmen because it's out of the goodness of his heart, because he's moving them on to the NBA. Like, you jackass. But he did talk about that he may have to start finding some kids that want to stick around, or maybe NIL helps some of the kids stick around a little bit. But it's true, when you look at who is winning right now in the NCAA tournament, I do think it's safe to say that the Kentucky 5 freshmen model, I think, is essentially dead.
Well, look no further than Oregon.
Yeah.
And they get these freshmen, and they're always overrated.
Yep.
It just takes time.
Yeah.
Give them 2 or 3 years, and they're dynamite.
Yep.
But it's never, I don't know. Like Kansas is just like Kentucky, right? Blue blood.
Yep.
When Kansas won the tournament 2 years ago, they had a lot of guys that had been there for several years.
Yes.
And they were good players, but they had been there for a while.
Well, look at it. So UConn last year was certainly not a bunch of one-and-dones. It wasn't even a bunch of NBA guys. Just wasn't. They had the one big guy.
I can't even tell you who their best player on that team was.
They had the big, it was like Nigerian guy, the big guy in the middle. again, name escapes me. And then Kansas, as you mentioned, Kansas was not full of a bunch of freshmen. And then you had Baylor. And then after that, it was Virginia, which was certainly not a bunch of one-and-dones. And then Villanova. And then North Carolina with Roy. But again, that was a team that had stuck together and had some elder statesmen. Villanova again. Duke, Connecticut, Louisville under Rick Pitino, which was a senior-laden team.
Looking at that Duke team,
see what
I feel like that might have been some young guys.
Some young guys?
But to your point, everyone you mentioned up until Duke, I think all had – well, they have exceptional players because those are all blue blood programs generally.
Yeah.
But they all had guys that stayed there a long time, including Virginia.
Yes. I'm going to look at their starting lineup.
Well, the point is, Calipari would be smart. He would be smart to switch up his the way he goes about things.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. You know, look, clearly what you're doing isn't working. I mean, no one's arguing the fact that Calipari is a good coach. And no one's arguing with that he has tremendous success, which is why they gave him a lifetime contract, and he's one of the highest paid coaches in the game. But much like Nick Saban a number of years ago at Alabama had to look at what he's doing and saying, hey, the way I was winning before with playing defense with average quarterbacks and running the ball isn't working. I have to evolve. And to his credit, he did. And this is the exact opposite of that in terms of, like, Calipari was the flashy young guy that just ran up and down and they just beat you with talent. That's not getting it done anymore.
But you know what, though? I was looking back at his teams today. He had a team that had Karl Anthony Towns, Devin Booker, and Willie Cauley-Stein. Willie Cauley-Stein.
Yeah.
They didn't win.
Yeah. That was the one that lost to, if I'm not mistaken, Wisconsin.
Yes, in the Final Four.
And guess who Wisconsin had?
A bunch of guys who'd stayed there.
A bunch of guys that had stuck around.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. If I'm Kentucky, I do not fire John Calipari, but I'm certainly having a conversation with him about how he goes about his business.
Well, at least he acknowledged it, right?
Totally.
Like
that's the key.
Yeah, at least he looked at it and was like, hey, we may have to do something about this.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've got that Duke championship team. So
yeah,
that would have been in 14-15. So you had I'm looking who Jabari Parker was on that. He was a freshman. Grayson Allen was there. Okafor was there. Tyus Jones was there. Winslow. So there were some young talent.
Young guys?
There were some young guys.
Okay. Yeah, Parker was young.
Yeah, there was definitely
that team won the title?
That team won the title. But Quinn Cook was a senior on that. But yeah, you're right. Like, Grayson Allen was a freshman. Tyus Jones was a freshman. Winslow was a freshman. Okafor was a freshman. So that's the outlier. I mean, there's one every once in a while. But that was a very, very young team.
Well, Anthony Davis. Wasn't Anthony Davis a freshman when Kentucky won?
Anthony Davis was a freshman.
I think they only lost one game.
I think so.
They beat Kansas in the final. We weren't even it wasn't even close.
But again, you go back to that Duke team in the Kentucky, you're now talking about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
That was a long time.
Yeah, it's interesting. The landscape has changed for sure with NIL and everything. And I don't know. Football, we clearly know what that means. In basketball, I don't know.
And by the way, that Duke team, they beat that Wisconsin team that beat Kentucky.
Okay. Clear as mud.
Yeah, clear as mud. They beat two teams that would have fit the model of stick around, Michigan State and Wisconsin.
I guess my question is, in the new era of college basketball, what is the best way to go about your business? Knowing NIL and knowing you have to have some of those young talents, right?
Yeah.
I mean, when you're at Kansas and Kentucky and Duke and North Carolina, you're not going to avoid the one-and-dones. Those are the best players. You are in for those guys.
Yep.
Calipari's not saying, I don't want those guys. Okay, so if you get those guys, how do you build around them? Like, are you then trying to look at guys that...
Yes, I think I honestly...
That you can build, you can coach up for 3 or 4 years to stay around?
I honestly think the best model, if you're at a place like that, is you obviously try to go get the Grady Dicks of the world and these sorts of 5-star kids, right? You try to go land your 3 or 4 blue chip guys. But I also think that in every recruiting class, you're gonna have to turn, instead of trying to get 7 5-star kids, you're gonna have to start finding some guys that you know are 3 or maybe 4-star kids that you feel are more developmental projects.
But I don't. There's no team with 7 5-star kids.
Well, you know what I mean. How many times have we seen Kentucky where they roll out 4 freshman starters?
This year? What do they have? Are those guys all freshmen that lost?
Their NBA guys are all freshmen. Yeah.
Are they?
Yeah, all the guys that were supposed to go in. I'll look at Kentucky's starting lineup.
Well, look,
you
I can tell you that Kansas sucks this year, and they don't have any good freshmen. So you're damned if you do, and you're damned if you don't.
I love that. That's where you went with this. You're like,
well, they got the best transfer in the country. He's terrible.
Yeah.
Well, he's not terrible, but he's a wuss.
I just think
he's a big old 7-foot stiff.
I just think it's really hard nowadays to say that every year you're rolling in a bunch of freshmen and you're going to go on and win in this tournament. And I also think it's why teams like Oakland, that kid, the kid that hit the 10 threes, that guy's like 29 years old and is a Division II transfer with a receding hairline.
I love that. I think they're going to beat NC State.
The kid's an accountant in a year, and yet he's out there beating Kentucky.
Are automatic qualifier bids worth it? We'll get to that next. Tom Izzo doesn't think so. It is 4:16 on the Fan. Hey, what's up? It's Rob sticking around for Window Nation. It And Auburn lost to Yale, which is great.
Down goes the SEC again.
And Florida lost to Colorado. 2 thrilling finishes.
Yeah.
Now,
by the way, Kentucky's made up almost exclusively of freshmen.
Is it?
There's a couple.
And they'll be gone?
Yeah. Like one of the guys, like Reed Shepherd, is, again, doesn't start, but he's supposed to be a top 10, top 12 pick.
Well, if I told you, name one coach who leans more into the one and done than any other coach,
yeah,
who would you guess?
It's Cal.
It's Cal, yeah.
Yeah.
And you're right, it's just not working.
No.
Hadn't been in the Final Four in basically 10 years.
Like, they've got a guy, they've got a forward, they've got, like, looks like one senior that's like a contributor that averages about 10 points a game. That's a graduate guy. But you look through their roster, and it's just freshman, an occasional sophomore, and then the one senior looks like Trey Mitchell.
It'd be interesting to hear, Bill Self or Hubert Davis or maybe even Izzo talk about this.
Yeah.
The coaches at the blue blood schools that aren't as one and done heavy.
Yeah.
And see what they said about how they build out their rosters. I don't know. Some of it's just kind of luck and timing, right?
Yeah, I mean,
when you get kids that pop, and then you also have a couple good freshmen, and then there's your recipe. But how do you set out to do that? It's tough.
Yeah, and I'm looking here. So they've got a guy, Antonio Reeves. They got a guy that's a 20-point guy, and he is a senior. So, you got 2 seniors there. Is it fair then to say that he relies exclusively on freshmen? That maybe not, because again, you got 2 seniors in there, one scoring 20, one scoring 10. But the idea that even him addressing it at the end, saying, "I may have to rethink how I go about doing this." He knows.
So Izzo said something the other day. Michigan State advanced past Mississippi State. They're playing North Carolina. Izzo told reporters ahead of their game against Mississippi State that he thought automatic bids for mid and low major conference tournament champions should be done away with.
Yeah.
And he said, while everybody likes the upsets in the first round, I'm not sure if that's true.
Really?
Well, small sample size, but looking at yesterday,
yeah.
Well, there are 5. Okay, so Clark Kellogg said this morning on the broadcast that there are 5 schools that made this tournament via automatic qualifier who likely took bids away from at-large teams, right?
Yes.
Those 5 went 3-0 yesterday. Or of those 5, 3 of them won yesterday, and then 2 more are playing today. I think New Mexico lost, so I think they're 3-1, and there may be one other. Oh, maybe Yale.
Yeah.
Maybe Yale was the other one.
Yeah, Yale.
Because they're not getting in otherwise.
No.
So 4-1. So he says, while everybody likes the upsets in the first round, I'm not sure if that's true. Oh, it's pretty much true.
What are you talking about? Like
it's the fun of the tournament.
We've been here for 2 straight days, and by far the biggest reaction is when you see a team like Yale, and we've been doing this for years, when a team like Yale wins. So let's remove Yale, right? Let's remove Yale from the equation. What was Yale? What was their seed?
13.
They're 13, right? So let's take Yale out as the 13, and let's add in St. John's. Or let's add in, what's another random SEC team, right? Throw Georgia in the mix. You're telling me as we're watching this that if you put Georgia across the front of the Yale jersey and they beat Auburn, that reaction and the interest is anywhere near what we just saw? Of course not. You can tell me all day long that Georgia is a giant underdog to Auburn. It won't have the same reaction as when we watch Yale or when we watch Oakland. Same thing. Remove Oakland and add Arizona State into the mix, and that game doesn't mean the same. Tom Izzo is so blinded by his own hubris that you can't see why the general public likes the tournament. Because when you're Tom Izzo, remember, college basketball is the greatest thing in the world. And Tom Izzo can watch college basketball no matter what, and he sees the nuances of it. But to the average schmuck out there that's sitting around watching this, we don't watch college basketball during the regular season. People don't pay attention to it. It's not highly rated. But come this tournament, people tune in. People tune in to watch David get a chance to slay Goliath. And you can't have David played by the role of Power 5. No one wants to see the 8th best team in the SEC or the 8th best team in the Big Ten play the 2nd best team. That's regular season. We want to see the guy that isn't supposed to be there. We want to see Oakland. We want to see Valpo. You want to see Florida Atlantic make a Final Four. That's the magic of this tournament. And so for Tom Izzo and Greg Sankey to sit here continually and talk about how more Power 5 middle-of-the-road teams need to make this tournament, it's like they're actively trying to destroy the one thing that makes their sport great. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, I think they're looking at it through the football lens, right?
Yeah.
Well, at least Sankey is.
Yeah.
He just doesn't have any respect or need for the lower level schools.
No.
But to me, it's pretty simple. Nothing is ever perfect, but the NCAA tournament is about as close to perfect as you can get in sports. So stop trying to mess with it.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes no sense. I haven't heard anybody else say that other than Izzo.
Well, Sankey.
Okay, two people.
Yeah.
No one wants that.
No.
This is the beauty of the tournament.
Yes.
Leave it alone.
Sad part is that Sankey is so powerful. He may get his way, and his way is not to eliminate automatic qualifiers. It's just to expand. And God, does anyone need to see a 96-team tournament with, again, 8 teams from the Big Ten and the SEC getting in?
Money.
Yeah. Yeah. As someone said last year, remember we were watching last year when San Diego State beat Alabama and Brandon Miller? Phenomenal. Davidson making the run, as someone points out on the Vancouver Forward text line, with Steph Curry. Phenomenal. George Mason. And those teams don't win national titles, but that's, to me, is the beauty part of this tournament, is for teams like that, you don't need to win a national championship. Right? For like take 2 years ago, right? TCU made the national title game and then just got drilled by Georgia. That's a great season for TCU, but it's still, I think in football people's minds, it still feels kind of like did you really do anything? You got your ass kicked. But in college basketball, when a team like that, if Oakland makes the Sweet 16 and then gets drilled by UConn or whoever is, I don't know what, in this side of the bracket, that's not a failure, right? That my season didn't end in disappointment. And that's the other one that I love about the tournament, is it's the one thing where you don't just have one team at the end that feels great. You get these great stories and making it, and sometimes just making the round of 32 or playing in the play-in game is enough to have your season be a success. And why do you want to remove that? Why are you trying to kill what makes this thing great?
You know what's interesting? I was thinking about, if you think about your favorite NCAA tournament moments.
Yeah.
What are you thinking of?
It's mostly those teams. It's not Duke winning championships.
Bryce Drew Valpo.
Yes, that's exactly what came to my mind, was the Bryce Drew Valpo shot.
Yeah.
Do you realize that we had a buzzer beater?
Yep.
We had a guy hit a buzzer beater to win the national title.
Yeah.
Within the last 10 years, we have had that.
Yeah.
And not one person could remember that shot or his name. Well, not one. Most lay basketball fans who watch the tournament,
we just know it's Villanova,
could not tell you who it was that hit that shot. It's not the shot that comes to mind when they think of the tournament.
Nope.
And it should be. It was the biggest shot that we've seen in years.
Yep.
We think of Bryce Drew, which I think was in the first round, if not the second.
Probably.
I believe it was a 13 over a 4.
Yeah. And isn't that wild?
I remember CJ
Chris Jenkins.
Yeah. At Villanova.
Chris Jenkins at Villanova hit a shot to beat North Carolina for the championship. Yep. And I don't know how many people even put it in the top 5 of biggest buzzer beaters in NCAA tournament history.
You know what's funny is when you said that, one of the very first things that came to mind was a shot that didn't go in. And that was Butler. Had that half-court heave.
Gordon Hayward.
It was Gordon Hayward, and then the other long-haired kid that they had a half-court shot that went in and out, and that would have been to beat Duke. Butler would have beat Duke.
And I think they were a 5 that year.
Like that, what are you doing? What are you doing trying to get rid of that? Jackasses. And you're supposed to be a steward of the sport? Get out of here.
I feel like Izzo's not long for retirement.
He just,
you know
how I feel about Izzo.
I tell you what, a lot of the basketball, we were talking about the football coaches that are bailing.
Mm-hmm.
A A lot of the basketball coaches have bailed.
Good.
If you think about it.
Well, Jay Wright, right?
Jay Wright left before any of them. Roy Williams is gone.
Out.
Coach K's gone.
Yep.
Boeheim's gone.
Yep.
I got a
Calhoun.
sneaky weird feeling about Bill Self. Something's not right at Kansas. They've had a weird year, and then you got Izzo. Like a lot of these guys, I don't know. I just think the new age of college athletics, it's not the way they won in the past, and they're not having it.
No.
They're not having it. No. I could see Izzo bowing out pretty soon too.
Cry me a river.
All right, let's get to in the news coming up next. It is 4:31. Here's Buck with sports.
Now.
Sports Bar for Fan Madness. A quick note that if you couldn't make it up here to be with us and check out some of the games here at A this week, yesterday and today, there is Fan Madness 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Yes.
Did you read your email today?
I did read the email.
How about this?
We have to read this twice a day.
Right.
We read it, and now we're going to read it again.
So we're going to be out and about next week, too, Thursday and Friday, noon to 7 on Thursday at X Golf Tualatin, and noon to 7 Friday at X Golf Vancouver.
Double X golfing.
That would be Danny and Dusty, and then our show. It is brought to you by George McCoy at Warren Allen Attorneys at Law. Injuries and missing work ruining your day?
Yes, it is.
Call George McCoy. He'll make them pay.
Damn right they will. Let's get some justice, some frontier justice.
But wait!
There's more.
It's also brought to you by Coors Light. Don't let your bracket break you. Coors Light. Celebrate responsibly.
I will celebrate, but I will also celebrate with Coors Lights and Coors Heavy. You know, I'm a banquet man.
So next week, if you want to party with your favorite sports bros, we'll be at X Golf Tualatin on Thursday and X Golf Vancouver on Friday.
Bingo.
It is March 22, 2024. It is time for In the News. I am your noted and humble newsman. We're hanging out here
with a man with a giant O.
A lot of bros. Yeah, we got
a lot of bros. We got Beaver Winterhawk bro here.
Boy, I tell you, when we come to these things,
the people are great.
It is just interesting what people want to say to us, and you know, when they come up to the desk here, and it's just we just got a big thumbs down
followed by the
raspberry from that guy. I don't know what that meant.
I enjoy. I think he lost a bet. He had a bet slip. I like the guy that is demanding angrily to know who we are and what we're doing.
Yeah, the last guy, he's gone now, so I can say this. He was standing here for a good 2 segments. Looked like maybe an MMA fighter. I didn't want to mess with him. And then we finally break, and he comes up to me and he says, "What are you doing?" I'm like,
What does it look like?
What do you mean,
Yeah.
what are we doing? He's like, "Oh, I've never seen this here. What are you doing?" I'm like, dude.
I don't know, man.
A podcast.
Yeah.
Get out of here. No, I was really nice to him. I said, "We're doing a radio show." He's like,
wow.
How do you guys know all that stuff? I'm like, well, what do you like? I said, "Do you like to fish?" And he was like, "Oh, man, I love fishing." I'm like, well, if you hosted a fishing show, I would probably marvel at how much you knew about fishing. He's like, "I get it.
Yeah.
Passion. All right, take it easy."
Well, there was one guy yesterday that said the same thing. He's like, "What are you guys doing?" I told him a radio show, and he goes, "Really?" I was like, "Yeah." "Around here?" "Yeah." "You guys gonna talk about rodeo?" And that was not ironic. And I thought to myself for a brief moment, first off, is there a rodeo that I'm not aware of? Because we said we were local, and he seemed to think like is there a rodeo that we're missing, right? Is there like a rodeo down the road?
Or is there a local radio show that talks rodeo? I'm also interested in that.
It was baffling. And when I said no, he seemed very disappointed, like as if he expected me to be like, "You got it, man. We're gonna talk about rodeo." And then he went and played blackjack. That was the end. Once I told him we weren't gonna do rodeo, he just left.
Well, he's probably asked that to 130 radio shows, hoping that someday he'll find the one that talks about rodeo.
Well, I should have told him, hey, 4th of July, listen to the program, because the 4th of July rodeo, we actually talk about the rodeo. About 6:15, sir. Tune in, July 4th, 6:15.
Yeah.
You'll get your rodeo.
We do have a rodeo show.
Yes.
You're right.
Yeah.
It is National Broccoli Day. I hope you like.
Get the.
I like broccoli.
That vile weed.
I'm a fan.
That's my least favorite vegetable.
Yeah, you've said that. I can't
just
agree with that.
It's disgusting.
We also have National Goof Off Day.
Oh, well.
And that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Every day.
I prefer grab ass, but you know.
Yeah, you guys don't need a day to celebrate it.
No, it's really a lifestyle choice.
All right. How about OMSI? When's the last time you were at OMSI?
I did the OMSI After Dark a couple years ago. It was kind of fun.
OMSI's great.
Yeah.
I take my kids there a couple times a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, OMSI's wonderful. And every time you go to OMSI, and I haven't been in a long time, but I've been several times, and every time you go, it's like, man, This place is rad.
You're not going to get bored being at OMSI. There's always something cool.
There's always something different.
And you feel like you're a slightly less dumbass when you leave.
Yeah, right now, they're rocking a cool dinosaur exhibit.
Yeah, they are. I think, didn't they have the, what was the one where they had the human body?
I think it's just the human body
exhibit. Is that what it was called?
It's called Bodies, I think. Bodies?
That was amazing.
They did one when they had the, on the Apollo missions that I really enjoyed. I really like when they did that, and then they had like an Egyptian one, like Secrets of the Pharaoh sort of thing. But I think those are the last two that I remember going to.
Well, OMSI, the 2024 Newsweek Reader's Choice Awards has named OMSI as the top science museum in the United States of America.
Right the hell out
That's
of town.
right. It is #1.
Oh my God,
Jace.
So now we have the Enchanted Forest and OMSI.
Well, the Enchanted Forest, to be fair, this was on yesterday's in the news, is only nominated.
It's nominated.
This has won.
That's cool.
That is cool because, quite frankly, being a little Kansas boy, I knew nothing of the OMSIs of the world until I got here, and I was blown away by OMSI. I think that's really awesome.
Yeah.
But I didn't. I don't know how that compares to other museums and science museums across the country.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's the best.
Well, I remember when I was a kid, like high school, I remember getting all, altered state of mind and then going to do like the laser light shows.
Yes.
That was like a staple of being like 17 years old. Hey, someone get a bunch of edibles and let's go watch like laser like Floyd and be like, whoa. That was great childhood memories.
You know, the only thing that needs to happen, in my opinion, with OMSI, or is just the area around OMSI.
Yeah,
needs to be.
Well, you're under the bridge there in the water.
Yeah.
It's a little.
It's getting better. I think they are working on it. They're trying to clean up around there, but they need some like restaurants and things.
Yeah, like within walking distance with your kids on a nice day, and maybe a park, restaurants, and cool places to hang out, food carts or whatever.
Well, you got the homeless encampments now. Is that not,
See, that's the thing. It's not that sketchy around there right now. It's just there's nothing there though.
All right, thumbs up. Someone saying the bodies are from Chinese prisoners. Look it up. What?
Is that true?
I hope not. What?
Well, why does that matter?
I don't know. That just came in on the Vancouver Fort text line, and my first thought was,
Well, if it were just prisoners against their will versus people donating their bodies knowingly to science, I guess that's different.
Right? I don't know. You donate your body to science for, what, $25? 20 righteous bucks.
Yeah, it says a competing... Okay, so China has a Bodies the exhibition.
Yeah.
Openly sources its bodies from unclaimed bodies in China, which can include executed prisoners.
Well, you know. Look,
but that's not our. That's not our
it's not ours.
bodies.
That's theirs. Look, can I make a statement here?
You can.
Well,
you have a radio show. Do it.
All right, we off someone, right? We put him in the chair, whatever. You know.
Yeah.
Hey, the guy deserved it. Is it terrible?
Why
that
not? I agree.
What else are we doing?
I agree.
Look, it doesn't matter to me. Like
as long as they consent.
Exactly. At that point,
even then,
what's he gonna do about it?
I've always said that.
Like what?
What do you want done with your body? I don't care.
Yeah,
do whatever you want with my body.
Yeah, it's like
I'm dead.
I'm going to OMSI. Does it matter who that guy was? There's not a sign on it that says, hey, this guy was a loving husband and father, and this guy was, a mass murderer. Does it matter?
Well, I think the only way it matters is if you get permit. Don't you think the person
you sign off
when
on
alive maybe needed to sign something that said this is okay, or is it not? I don't know.
I don't know how all that works. I'm just saying, let's not be picky. As long as it's ethically sourced, then I just don't care what that guy or gal did in real life.
Right. I'm with you.
We're just can I poke it with a stick? If the answer is yes, then
you
I'm
can't
all for
touch.
It. That's disappointing.
Did you ever see that exhibit?
Yes.
Super cool.
Yeah. I want an OMSI exhibit where I can poke something with a stick. That should be, if I was in charge of things, there would be a stick poking exhibit.
What else do I have for you? Well, we'll have to do it when we come back. It's not just basketball March Madness, Jace. It's pothole March Madness.
Oh, boy.
In Portland. That's next on In the News. It is 4:45 on The Fan.
This is The Fan's Window into Sports, a view into today's top story.
All right, what do you got?
Before we get back to In the
The
News.
Colorado State bet that I lost? Yeah.
Well, dude, nobody has it worse than me, I'm telling you. Kansas, I bet on Kansas last night.
Can I let people behind the curtain? You came up to me before the show yesterday, and we had both placed a couple bets up there, and you come to me and you said, hey, I'm not putting this out for public consumption, but I just want you to know I pounded Kansas.
I did.
Pounded.
I thought
they were up by 22.
Well,
they should have covered. That's the right side.
Tell me about it. I'm not pissed. Yeah, they were up by 22.
I'm glad because I was.
And they won by 4. The spread was 7.5. They were up by 22, and they won by 4.
This was mine because when you said that, you are not a Kansas honk.
No.
In fact, you're the opposite. So when you
I hate them.
When you are so confident about Kansas, I was this close to going to lay a C-note because I kind of got my ass handed to me yesterday.
Yeah.
I was going to lay $100 down on Kansas. Back. All right, I'm gonna make this up a little bit. I'm like, if Rob's this confident, and I didn't do it, and when they're up by 22, I'm like, son of a.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't believe I didn't bet. And then I saw the end, and I was like, woo, woo. And my day would have gone from bad to worse.
I mean, dude, Buck's right. We were right about that game.
Yes.
But effing Samford. They were terrible. Did you watch it?
Yes.
Oh my God, that team, awful.
Yeah. And yet
But Kansas is awful too. Yeah. So I don't know. Anyway,
that was a clean block, by the way, at the end.
Oh, it definitely was.
It was gorgeous too.
Yeah.
And by the way, Gonzaga is going to absolutely house Kansas.
Yeah. They looked really good.
What I was going to tell you is the bet that I'm betting to make up for the Kansas loss.
Yeah.
I have bet Houston in the first half to beat Longwood by over 15.
Whew.
Because I believe, hear me now, believe me later.
All right, I'm listening.
And you can hold me to this, make fun of me all you want when I'm wrong. I do not believe Longwood will score over 12 points in the first half.
They're going to pull a Kansas. They're going to pull a Colorado State.
Based on my research into that game, they will be lucky to score 12 points in the first half. So I have bet Houston.
I love it.
Minus 15 first half.
Double up to catch up.
All right, it is in the news. March 22, 2024. We're out here at the Stadium Sports Bar at A&A. We're having a good time. Talking to some P1 bros.
Some sports.
Talking some sports. It's not just basketball March Madness. It is pothole March Madness. I don't know if you've been paying attention, but
not a big fan.
Well, the city has gone around and so they're saying between January 24 and February 26, so it's over now.
Yeah.
But during that period, they repaired nearly 3,000 potholes, and they're continuing into March Madness, pothole repair madness.
Yeah.
They are out repairing potholes all over the city.
Oh, thank heavens.
I don't know if you have noticed in your
commute.
Yeah, in your commute or what I noticed today. They really are. I've noticed several spots where they're cleaning graffiti or painting over graffiti.
Yes.
Fixing potholes.
Yes.
Moving homeless. I have seen. I will say this is the first time since we've been talking about this since freaking COVID.
Years.
How messed up it is, and why can't they figure it out? This is the first time I've seen actual action with my eyes.
Yes.
In multiple spots around the city with what's going on.
I've told many people who do not believe me because all my friends think I'm an idiot because I hang out in Portland. I say, I'm telling you, it is getting better. And I reported, and I don't know if you can take any, solace because it was St. Patty's Day. Downtown, that was the best I have seen downtown look. And that's kind of going to be a rough part of town. That is the best I've seen Portland look in 5 years. Was all down around the downtown bar area down there, Burnside, the entertainment district. It's the best it's looked in years over the weekend. And there were a ton of families out there. The cherry blossoms were in bloom. People were roaming the waterfront park. It was...
Well, there's a lot to clean up.
It was great.
But they're trying.
They're making an effort. That's all we want.
And I have national news. Well, actually, international news.
All right.
Because we have been following the Kate Middleton saga.
Is she not dead?
She's not dead, but she announced today that she is undergoing chemo to treat cancer.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, that's why she's been.
Okay.
She's been missing.
Yeah, people were. Does anyone feel bad that they were trying to push the narrative that she had a Brazilian butt lift?
Well, look, if you don't come out and say, well, that's what we're going to speculate.
Yeah, here's the thing. They got caught photoshopping pictures of her,
That's
which
right.
is why people started speculating.
That's right.
So
Just say it.
just get ahead of it.
Yes, just say it.
Well,
Why you got to hide it?
Because some people don't want people to know that they're going through cancer.
But
yeah, I know,
this is
but
also the
guess
society
what?
we live in. where
You're
people
the
do that.
Duchess of Essex, or whatever the hell her title is. You don't have the luxury of hiding things from people. People want to know what's going on with you.
What kind? Do we know what kind of cancer?
It sounds like
Is it like super serious cancer?
Well,
or
she
is it
had
like,
she had the abdominal surgery.
Yeah.
So many are speculating that it's related to that, but she didn't really say. But she did come out and say that she posted a delightful message where she's sitting on a park bench in a beautiful weather.
I like your accent. Yeah, Mary Poppins there.
Catherine.
Well, because sometimes you get cancer diagnosis and people are like, that's, you're going to be okay. And other times you get it and it's like, oh, Nelly. You get pancreatic cancer. It's a different story.
Yeah.
Not that it affects me because I could care less about the royal family.
I'm in love with her.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Boy,
I think she's great.
Why?
Well,
Okay.
she's hot.
That's
she
what it
seems.
blows. I don't know.
She seems cool.
The royal family is.
She's very buttoned up. I like the like Julie Andrews.
You have some sort of kink. Your kink is like
well,
proper.
she was a commoner turned
Yes.
royalty. She was
I know
just a
she
normal
was.
woman.
I know, but she's handling it great.
I'm saying that's a positive thing.
Yeah, she's I like the Royals. I'm kind of into the Royals. I think the proper. I don't know. There's something about.
You want to play naughty British nanny.
That's what it is.
That's what it is. I understand. I totally understand. But you got an archetype. I get
just
it.
like classy women.
Yeah.
That's what I like.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong. I like the tatted up whore too, but I like classy women. My wife's classy. I like that. It's hot. What?
I didn't see that.
There's a place for the tatted up whore. I'm just saying, like,
I didn't see that one coming. That one snuck up on me a little
it's
bit.
hard
there.
to be that classy. And Kate's classy, and so is Julie
my
Andrews.
women just a little on the trashy side.
I don't.
Is that like a Sammy Kershaw song or something? There's a place for the tatted up whore.
Yeah, she's got a place, but
Who had that on the bingo card today?
give me Kate all day. Whew. All right, that's in the news. March 22, 2024. The hot 5 at 5 is next. The UP women's team has already played in the NCAA tournament. The Mets add a slugger, and how many perfect brackets remain?
I'm still laughing.
Next on The Fan.
It's time for High Stakes, a tasty look at clutch performances and the biggest game.
Yeah, we're up here for day 2 of Fan Madness. And now there are actually going to be 4 days of Fan Madness because, as we announced earlier today, we're going to be out at X Golf Tualatin on Thursday of next week and X Golf Vancouver on Friday of next week.
Yeah, so golf/basketball madness.
Golf.
Sweet 16.
There you go. Can we say that?
No. Fun 16.
Fun 16. Yeah, the
sexy 16.
The super duper fun sexy 16.
All right, so
but
coming up.
That sounds weird because then you're talking about sexy 16, and that's strange.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
That's like a warrant. She's only 17.
By the way, dude.
Some R. Kelly
dude,
stuff. Dude,
wait a minute.
What? What have we stumbled upon?
I stumbled upon a documentary. Have you started the Nickelodeon doc on Netflix yet?
I've seen that. I'm scared to get into it.
Oh,
my God.
I'm guessing it's a bunch of child abuse.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, creepy old men producers and young boys and girls.
Let's put it this way. Yes, you're spot on.
Yeah.
Let's put it this way. I watched, I think there's 4 episodes. I got through 2.5 last night. And my wife was watching with me, and she was so disgusted that she couldn't watch. She goes, dude, you have got... She calls me dude. Yeah. She said...
Dude, my man.
Dude, you have got to turn this off. And I was like, okay. It's like, usually I fight with her about it.
Sure.
I was like, I totally get it.
We get it.
This is too much for me.
Yeah. As a barometer, worse than the Jared from Subway one?
Yes.
Oh.
I think it is.
Well, let me. Who could have thought that an entire network run by horny old men executives, and the entire purpose of said network was to find very attractive children with poor parental influence, with no real supervision, and get them on set and leave them unsupervised? What could go wrong? What?
I know. Call Ripley's, right?
Yeah.
But I just got to tell you one thing from it, okay? And look, this is not an official recommend from me because
that's creepy.
It's just, there's a lot of people that they're not going to want to consume this content, and I totally get it.
Yeah.
Don't turn it on if you can't handle it. I'm telling you, it's rough.
Yeah.
But I forget what it's called. It's like when the lights go on or something. It's on Netflix.
Should be when the lights go off.
It's about Nickelodeon, and I am a little too old. Nickelodeon was not a part of my childhood.
Your jam?
No, I was more like Saturday morning cartoons.
Sure. It's called Quiet on Set.
Quiet on Set, yeah.
Disney afternoon type stuff. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. So Nickelodeon was just kind of came along a little later for me. So none of these shows I don't know anything about these shows.
Yeah.
But there is one thing you need to know is that there was not one but 2 full-on pedophiles that were employed by Nickelodeon.
Makes sense.
Admitted pedophiles, not the main guy. The main guy was a creep, but not a pedophile. I have 1 episode and a half left, so maybe he is a pedophile.
I like that he's like, hey, I may be attracted to small children and I want them around me, but I'm not going to do anything about it. I'll just fantasize, and that's the guy we're giving credit to?
One of these pedophiles. So they arrested both guys. Both guys eventually got arrested. Yeah. One of them got out of jail as a sex offender, registers as a sex offender,
Still
a child predator. He went and got a job at Disney.
Jeez.
Sook. Help a bro.
I want to say that any of this surprises me, but it doesn't. Anytime you hear about any show, like any show that had a child actor, it's like Greg Brady was sleeping with Mrs. Brady, right? Like the whole Kids Incorporated thing, and it's just
it's all bad.
Look, if you send your kid to Hollywood, just buckle up. You're making a Faustian sort of deal.
It's all bad.
It's no good.
Coming up here in the club tonight, I don't know. We'll just talk crap about people running around here. I don't know what we're going to do.
We'll figure it out.
We'll
make fun of our boss, who's probably halfway in the bag already.
Yeah, Kim's here.
She's wearing a romper, and
they had a what is it, like a bus that brought a bunch of people up here from Odyssey?
Yeah, let me tell you, the office here is dead.
Sales bro extraordinaire Ryan Cooley is stumbling around here somewhere.
Boy, that guy gets housed, doesn't he?
Yeah,
He's like the new Kurt Ludwig.
Yeah, and we still have Kurt Ludwig.
Yeah.
He's out Ludwig. And that's saying something.
Well, he's got 2 little kids. His life's probably miserable.
Exactly. What are you going to do?
Coming up this hour, I got a fun little Oregon State baseball note. We've got one college football subject to discuss, but then most of the hour will be consumed by what happened today in brackets. And we'll look ahead to tomorrow. You know, Oregon plays Creighton.
Yep.
And a good weekend ahead of college basketball. So we'll get to that here in a moment. But right now, the hot, very hot, 5 at 5.
Hot topics, hot opinions.
Oh, Charlie, I'm hot today.
And hot air. It's time for the Hot 5 at 5.
That's hot.
The Hot 5 at 5 on Primetime with Isaac and Sue.
No, I mean it. That's very hot.
The Hot 5 at 5 with Isaac and Sue. Brought to you on The Fan by Victorico's Mexican Food, the most popular burrito spot in Oregon. Online at victoricos.com. Number 5.
Well, as we watch the brackets here, it's been a lot of fun, and we'll get to the scores. But the other element of college basketball that no one's talking about because we're all distracted by these games, there's a lot of job openings.
Yeah.
Washington's open. I believe Stanford needs a coach. West Virginia, Oklahoma State, Vanderbilt. Baylor coach Scott Drew today confirmed that he is not going anywhere. He made the decision to publicly withdraw from any other job once the president at Baylor reassured him and people within the men's program at BU that they would be capable of raising enough NIL money to keep them near the top of the highly competitive Big 12.
Isn't that interesting that this is what it's like, hey, if you want me, like it's not even so much about like using this to scare up money for my salary. We better have money to pay players.
Yeah, and that's pretty much what every coach is.
Yeah.
That's what Leipold said at Kansas.
Yep.
It's just
give me enough to be competitive.
So we also have Louisville, and the two big programs that need a coach are Louisville and Michigan. So Scott Drew staying at Baylor. Now Florida Atlantic got beat today.
4. Yes.
Their coach could be on the move to one of those two schools.
Yeah, and they made the Final Four last year.
The Mets have added slugger J.D. Martinez on a one-year deal.
I'll take it. 1 year, what, about $12 million for J.D. Martinez?
It's a good signing.
I wanted J.D. Martinez like 4 years ago, but I'll take him now.
Yeah, he's 36 years old, and like you said, it's $12 million. But he hit 33 bombs with the Dodgers last year.
Dude, J.D. Martinez is for the longest time is sneaky underrated. I don't know why he isn't more coveted. All that guy does wherever he goes is rake.
Well, I think you're right. I think it's partly because he's just a DH. He doesn't do much but hit. But he really is a great professional hitter. So he goes to the Mets, so he'll probably hit 220 with 5 home runs then get hurt.
Shut your mouth.
Opening day is Thursday of next week. The Mariners will host Boston for 4 and then Cleveland for 3. Luis Castillo, of course, getting the ball out of the gate for your and my Seattle Mariners. I like the Mariners this year.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. I think the Mariners are going to be good. I think they're going to be better than last year, believe it or
54% win good?
Maybe even more.
No, I mean, they got good pitching, and they actually added a bat, you know. What did you... Oh, I thought you...
Oh, I was looking at the security guy. I'm like, who's that guy going to stop?
I thought you were...
With his mace.
I thought you were squaring up on the security guy.
I was sizing him up because I'm like, man, dude, he's like... that guy's like 5'8", $120 with mace.
I think about that like when I go to Blazer games and I see some of the security guards and like, what... If I decided to storm the court,
fatty?
What's happening right now?
Out of 22.1 million brackets on ESPN, 10 remain perfect.
Well, that's something.
That is something. I'll get to the scores in a moment, but first I want to get...
Including Bijan Robinson?
Going into today, supposedly, I don't know about what happened today, but supposedly going into today, Bijan had a perfect bracket, or so says he.
I want to get to the women's scores. Oregon State, by the way, just tipped in Corvallis. They are up 4-2 on Eastern Washington.
Warm up the bus. Warm up the bus. They're favored by like 20.
Colorado is a 5 seed out of the Pac-12. They are up at halftime over 12 seed Drake, 46-41. Again, this is the women's bracket. Looking through for upsets, South Carolina, the number 1 seed, beat Presbyterian 91-39.
Good Lord.
So that was close. Yeah, I don't see any upsets. Now, the big one here, of course, for locals, The University of Portland lost. The 13 seed Pilots went to Manhattan, Kansas, and lost to 4 seed Kansas State 78-65.
Yeah, number 1 seed Texas beat Drexel by 40, 82-42. The women's game does produce some serious ass kickings.
Looks like the only upset was 6 seed Louisville lost to Middle Tennessee 71-69.
I heard on Danny and Dusty today that the South Carolina women, they won, but they didn't cover the 55-point spread.
Oh, my God, you're kidding.
No, I'm not kidding.
Did you see, what was the spread on the UConn men's game today? Do you guys know?
I don't know.
Because UConn ended up beating whoever the hell they played.
Yeah.
They beat them by 39. And there was a table of gamblers here that was going crazy at the end of that game. I don't know whether they covered or didn't cover. I couldn't tell.
So there was a big prop of the biggest margin of victory in the first round was 35.5 points. I know that people have been hoping that hits, but it could have been an alternate line as well.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was. Maybe I don't know. Was the spread 40?
I'm looking here. At least according to CBS, it was 26.
Oh, okay. All right. I don't know what they were going crazy over. Are we on number 1?
We are.
There you go. Perfect. All right. Here is the scoreboard from today. We have had some great finishes today.
Yep.
The 2 biggest ones are both SEC teams going down. 4 seed Auburn loses to Yale 78-76. Auburn had several looks at the end to at least tie and 1 3-pointer to win it.
Yale tried
and they missed them all.
Yeah, and the Yale, or I guess the Ivy League, put out a tweet of Yale with the winning layup. This one just meant more. Trolling the SEC. Bravo.
We also had 10 seed Colorado winning again. They beat 7 seed Florida with a bucket with about a second left. 102-100 that final. That was a great game. We had Northwestern in overtime knocking off Florida Atlantic 77-65. That is a 9 seed over an 8. You had 6 seed Clemson hammering New Mexico, the 11 seed 77-56. 5 seed San Diego State beat 12 seed UAB 69-65. 3 seed Baylor all over 14 seed Colgate 92-67. Marquette was losing at half, but outscored 15 seed Western Kentucky 51-26 in the second. They win 87-69. UConn 91-52 over Stetson. And then games in progress. Texas A&M at the half. They are a 9 seed. They lead 8 seed Nebraska 58-44. Duke is only up 5 on 13 seed Vermont 34-29 at half. Purdue is just underway against Grambling. It is a 1-point game. Purdue 16, Grambling 15 with 11.5 minutes left in the first half.
Wouldn't that be something if they go down to a 16 seed again?
Yes. Although
holy Zach Edey.
I said that, but now I'm looking up and it's suddenly 23-15, just like that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Alabama is a 4 seed. Another SEC team. I think you said the SEC has not won a game yet?
Tennessee is the only one.
Oh, Tennessee
rolled St. Pete's, and outside of that, I think the SEC is down at 4 or 5 teams.
Well, Alabama is losing 19-12 to 13 seed Charleston with about 12 minutes left in the first half.
God, that would be so tasty.
4 games later, Wisconsin is a 5 seed. They take on James Madison, the 12. Number 1 seed Houston is playing 16 seed Longwood. Utah stays the 8 seed. That could be Washington's next basketball coach, the Sprinkler. They're taking on 9 seed TCU, and then 5 seed St. Mary's against 12 seed Grand Canyon. Now, that's an interesting matchup. Believe it or not, yours truly has watched Grand Canyon play this year.
Really?
That is a fun team, and that is an interesting matchup.
Well, someone needs Grand Canyon to win here, plus 5.5. This has just come across my timeline. This is a legitimate wager. I see the slip here. Someone has done a 16-team parlay, and they have the first 13 legs have hit.
Okay.
It is a $5 parlay, and if they get these next 3, they need Grambling Purdue to be over 139, which I don't know if we'll get there. They need TCU minus 3.5, and Grand Canyon plus 5.5.
What was the second one? Sorry.
TCU minus 3.5. So if they get TCU minus 3.5, Grand Canyon plus 5.5, and they're Purdue over, their $5 will turn into $200,000. They have a $5 parlay.
Is that here?
No, this is just
online.
This is just online. This is being passed around now. They had a 16-team parlay, and they've gone 13 for 13, and those are the last 3 they need. 5 for $200,000.
I tell you what, I kind of like Utah State.
I need this to happen.
What are the other 13? They nailed 13 in a row?
13.
You got to start hedging at this point, don't you?
Totally.
So they had Marquette. They had. Boy, this lady.
I know, she's all over you. What's her problem?
I don't know.
I don't think she likes you.
Shut up. I mean, I'm trying not to be rude, but
I think she's house.
Yeah, go away.
Yeah, she's pissed.
Just like yelling at me in
What's
my
her problem?
face. Do we know what was?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. She just didn't know we were on the air. She had hot sports takes to disseminate to you.
What did she think was happening with the microphones you were speaking into?
Dude,
I don't know.
You would be amazed how many people don't know we're doing an effing radio show.
You would think that when I don't make eye contact with you and put my hand up.
I know. I gave her the finger, like, hold on.
That may be. So they.
Well, not the middle finger, but.
Michigan State, Duquesne.
I mean, I wish I gave her the middle finger.
Creighton, Arizona.
And no, she's not hot.
A couple over-unders. No, she's like 70 years old. They hit Illinois, Dayton, Texas, NC State, Washington State.
That was a close one.
Yeah, the over-under in Northwestern and Marquette again, and now they're down to they need the Purdue, TCU, and Grand Canyon.
Dude, 16 teams.
16-team parlay. $5.
Bucks, right. You got to start hedging, man.
I know.
If you get 200
G's.
Yeah, if you get. So you've got 3 left.
Especially if the Grambling one's already live. That game's going. If that one hits and you just have 2 left, you got to seriously start thinking about making 5 figures.
You said over, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
They need the Purdue over.
It's 26-17 with 8 minutes left in the first. That's not looking good.
That's not looking good. That's looking actually real bad.
So what would you do? Right now you'd bet the under for
you'd
as
bet
much cash as you have on it?
Pretty much.
Yeah, you'd have to bet a live under as much as you possibly can.
God. But then you'd have to do it again for the next 2 games.
But what happens with that? And then Purdue goes on an offensive explosion, and you lose that. I mean,
Johnny Football's fired up. You showed him in the stands. I'm watching the Nebraska Texas A&M game, and Aggie Texas A&M. Johnny Football, he's in the stands.
He's all housed.
Probably.
All right, you guys, we got to go.
Pac-12,
Believe it or not,
5-0, SEC 1-5.
I love that.
It just means more. Means more in the Pac-12.
I love that stat. As they blow it up.
Hey, that's $5 million more in the coffers of Washington State and Oregon State. Just so people know.
That's true. The Hot 5 is brought to you by Victor Rico's Mexican Food, the most popular burrito spot in Oregon. Order now at victorricos.com. Bracket talk, and I've got an OSU baseball nugget next on The Fan.
It's twice the madness. Join Danny and Dustin.
All right, please have you long. If you're tuning in to hear Joey Harrington, he will not be on our show.
No, he's in Italy.
No, that's not what I heard. What I heard is he is boycotting our show because we put his drunk brother on yesterday.
Oh, well, that's true. While wearing Joey's jersey. And maybe he's in Italy.
No, he's in Italy. So
and a sweet visor.
Yeah.
He's known for Joey's
He's
brother's
known
for his visors, his Palm Spring visor. You know, visor guy, like fedora guy. You have to have a certain element about you to be fedora guy or like bowler hat guy. Visor guy is the same thing. It takes a unique individual to wear a visor indoors in March.
Yeah.
That's a commitment.
I went through a visor phase.
Did you?
Just during golf.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Well, I'm bald, so the fact if I was wearing a visor, it would be very strange, and I'd have the world's worst tan line.
Yeah, you'd be like Stuart Sink.
Boy, how does that guy occasionally not just take off his hat? Like, if I'm playing golf, I have to be very conscious to not leave a hat on.
Well, he doesn't wear a visor. He wears
a hat. But then he's still
bald. He's like you.
He's like, when you're playing, you got to go like every 2 or 3 holes, you got to take it off for a hole or two and get some sun up there. Otherwise, you end up with, again, the world's worst tan line. You got to be aware of that when you're bald.
All right, we got 8 games tomorrow. 7-seed Dayton, 2-seed Arizona. Now, I don't know about you. That's the first game tomorrow morning. I don't know about you, and I know Arizona fan is never feeling. Yeah,
No.
they're never comfortable. They're never feeling good. I feel like Arizona's in pretty good territory there. Dayton, they were down 17 to Nevada.
Nah, it didn't look that good.
And got hot and came back.
Yeah,
but
that was like 25 to whatever 4 run.
I don't know. I feel like Arizona should be in good shape there.
I feel that way too.
We have Gonzaga, Kansas at 12:15.
You have no confidence in Kansas in that game
God.
whatsoever.
Did you watch them?
Yeah. Well, they were up by 22.
What a mess.
And
they're a mess.
They damn near let that thing, the block should have, if you didn't see it, there was an unbelievable chase down block at the end. It was a clean block. They called it for a foul. It should have been Sanford's ball down 1 with whatever it was, 10 seconds left, going the other way on a 5-on-4.
Yeah. But, Sanford, so Kansas was up 22 points.
Yep.
And then Sanford came back, and I think they tied it. If they didn't tie it, they got within 1.
I believe they did tie it up.
Did they tie? Yeah, because the block happened when they were up. The Kansas was up by 1.
So Kansas held on, but dude, Gonzaga is going to absolutely. Well, I don't want to say they're going to throttle them. Kansas has good players, but Gonzaga should win that game. Like if Gonzaga does not win that game,
that's on Gonzaga.
That's on Gonzaga.
Minus 4.5 right now for the Zags.
Yeah. See, I don't know about 4.5, but I think Gonzaga money line is a really good bet. Michigan State taking on North Carolina. Here's another money line bet I like. North Carolina.
Yeah.
I don't. Michigan State, they're a 9 seed. They lost 14 games. I know it's Tom Izzo, but I think we're a little over our skis on them.
Because they beat Mississippi State.
Yeah, they have one good tournament game. Mississippi State didn't shoot well. I think North Carolina should. I don't know. I don't see it. I don't think this is the year Michigan State knocks them off.
I'm looking through their best wins. It's not the most.
Well, look at the end of their season.
Yeah, it's not the most impressive resume.
Didn't they lose a lot of games down the stretch?
They lost a lot of games down the stretch. They lost to Iowa, Ohio State, Purdue, Indiana. Looks like they lost probably 6 of their last 8. Yeah, that's.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
It's not over. It's not an overwhelming.
I feel like
feeling there, but they did look really good against Mississippi State. Although everyone so far has looked good against the SEC besides St. Pete's.
I was going to say, I don't think they did. I just think Mississippi State couldn't shoot. And North Carolina only 3.5. I feel like they're giving a little too much respect to Michigan State there. That one will be at 2:30. We have, how about this? 3:10 tomorrow. Washington State, Iowa State.
Yeah, this scares me a little bit if I'm the Cougs. Iowa State's really good.
They really are.
Washington State was flirting with disaster last night against Drake.
Yeah, but they pulled it out. They played. I thought Washington State. I watched a lot of that game. They played pretty well.
And is Iowa State's style kind of slow it down, grind it out? Because if that's the case, I feel like those teams are a little bit more maybe upset prone than the teams that can do both.
They definitely are. They don't go up tempo. Their defense is really good.
That's like their hallmark. They're really good.
Yeah, that coach. I tell you that if I'm Washington, I don't know if Washington can afford him. I don't know if Washington could get him out of Iowa State. but he was an assistant at Washington.
Oh, yeah?
Under Lorenzo Romar, the Iowa State coach.
Is that the TJ Olsenberger or whatever?
Yeah. Yes, he is sensational coach.
Yeah.
He's doing a great job at Iowa State. I just don't think Washington could get him because I feel like in Ames they care about basketball more there than they do in Seattle.
Well, that's a good question. Like, it goes back to, we all think that Washington's a great job. I don't know, just in general, there's a lot of rumblings up there that they don't have their ducks in a row, and that there's a disconnect between the university president and going all in on athletics and just being kind of a hoity-toity academic school. And
this is going to sound weird, but I truly believe Iowa State basketball is a better job than Washington. Men's basketball. I mean, dude, they're crazy for basketball up there.
Yeah.
Like, they sell out their arena.
And they've had good teams.
Yeah, I remember old Johnny Orr and Fred Hoiberg. And so I don't think
Larry Stacey.
Larry Eustace, yes. He won a lot of games.
He did.
He spent some time with some co-eds, too.
Yeah, he also he won a lot of games, and he won a lot of co-eds, apparently.
Well,
whoops. Yeah, that's not a bad track record there at Iowa State. I mean, I'd make the argument, I think if you look back over the last 20 years, they're more successful than Washington has been.
No question. No question. So that's an interesting game. Washington. We'll see if Washington's. I mean, I think that's a tough draw for the Cougs. Iowa State is really good, but the spread is only 6.5. 4-10, Oakland, NC State, 14 versus 11. I got to tell you, man, Oakland looks great.
I don't know, man. Like
they look great.
I know they look great.
Just tell Golke to keep shooting.
How many times do we see a team like that, and then they get into the second round and the glass slipper comes off? Now, I don't know a whole lot about North Carolina State. It doesn't look. I mean, 23-14.
They've been hot. They won 5 in a row in the ACC tournament to get in.
To get in. So I mean, maybe there's something there. I'm always careful about a guy that goes 10 of 20 from the 3-point line. Or we're not talking about Oakland right now. Is that kid gonna go 10 of 20 again? I mean, he only shoots 9 a game on the year. It'd be a great story.
I'm loading up.
You taking Oakland?
I'm taking Oakland.
Money line, or are you taking the points?
+6. I'll take the point. 6.5. I'll take the points.
Right
here's a good matchup tomorrow on 5 o'clock on CBS. Texas, Tennessee.
Yeah, 7 versus 2.
Now, these two teams played last year.
The Rick Barnes battle.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Rick Barnes was at Texas.
Yep.
These two teams played last year, and Tennessee beat them. Good matchup.
And Tennessee, by the way, by the end of the day, may be the last remaining SEC team standing.
Is Alabama losing? Well, no, Texas A&M's winning.
Oh,
Texas A&M's up big.
Okay, A&M's big, and then Alabama. So that's the only other SEC teams.
And then 2 other games tomorrow. Duquesne is 11 seed. They play 3 seed Illinois.
Yeah, whatever.
I know nothing about any of. We know Duquesne coach.
Know Duquesne, and we know that they beat BYU. They beat the full Patino.
And then the night.
I want to watch this.
The nightcap tomorrow, 6:40 TBS, Oregon. Creighton.
Dare I say,
great game.
I'm gonna go. If you got to give me game of the day, Zags Kansas and Oregon Creighton, to me, 2 best games.
I agree,
hands down. Maybe aside of Michigan State, North Carolina, but give me the Duckies and the Jays.
Yeah, some good matchups.
And I want to see the Zags in Kansas.
So the spread here is Creighton -5.5.
Boy, I'll tell you what, oh my God, you give me some points with Altman and company right now. I might roll the dice on that.
Okay, so I've seen both of these teams enough to question Oregon's defense in this matchup.
Yeah,
that's the one, because Oregon's been really good. I don't know really what to make of Cousinard dropping 40. Right?
He didn't have a great Pac-12 tournament.
Right. Like, I feel like that's kind of a one-off.
And he's playing his old team, and
So I don't know how much you can rely on that. Now, N'Faly Dante is going to be guarded by the Creighton big is a great defender. So I feel
really long and really tall.
Yeah, I feel like that's a tough matchup for Dante, and Dante to me is their guy.
Yeah.
So it's really that then turns.
Dante's got to have like 40 pounds on him, so maybe you can bully him a little bit.
Yeah, maybe that's gonna be. I'll tell you what. You want to watch a great one-on-one matchup? That big kid for Creighton against N'Faly Dante is going to be great.
Yeah.
But that to me turns the focus on Oregon's defense. And Creighton, man, dude, I've watched them this year. They are nasty. They run a really efficient, really good offense. They can shoot. They have a big guy in the middle who can score. They're really good.
That's Ryan Kalbrenner.
Kalbrenner, I think. Yeah.
You know, and he's 17-7 guy. You know, he's legit 7-1,
and he can defend. And so that's a really. I don't know if this is a great matchup for Oregon. I got to say, Oregon, to me, they're not an 11 seed. They're better than an 11 seed. But at the same time, when you get into the tournament, it's all about how you match up with the other. You know, you hope to luck into.
Styles make fights.
Exactly. You hope to luck into better matchups. I don't know that this is a great matchup for Oregon, what Creighton does. So Creighton minus 5.5. It'll tip at 640. Should be great, and we'll have it here on the Fan for you. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back with more. I have an Oregon State baseball nugget.
Okay.
And we've got a college football player who is trolling. Well, I'll just tell you, he's trolling Iowa, and it's great.
All right.
That's next. Here's Buck.
Now from the
You've been working all day. Auburn lost to Yale in a great game.
Yeah, that was probably the highlight of the day.
Great finish.
Yeah.
Well, Colorado-Florida was great, too. Colorado won on a...
That was the first kind of buzzer. Like, it was a tie game, and Colorado had the ball with about 6 seconds left, and they hit a fall-away baseline jumper that hit the rim 9 times and went in. But there was 1.1 second, and they got off a heave from three-quarters court.
Technically not a buzzer beater, but I do love the three-quarters court heave where you're kind of like, oh, God, if that goes in, they win.
And it hit the backboard. You're like, you know.
It was a good day.
But we've yet to get a buzzer beater.
No, we haven't had a buzzer beater, but I tell you, every session there is always one game that ends up being bananas.
Yes, 100%.
And those two were it earlier. Right now, something to keep an eye on. Duke, they're up 7 on Vermont with about 10 minutes left, so we'll keep an eye on that. Duke, the 4 seed. Got a college football note here.
Real quick, a Duke loss would just be
great.
Chef's kiss.
Well, we have a Duke fan amongst us here.
I'm sorry.
Jeff Austin, our program director. He's...
Yes.
Claims to be a big Duke guy.
Yeah, whatever.
Well, his dad's a professor there, so, I mean... He's actually more of a Duke fan than he is Texas or Ohio State. He tries to claim them because he did radio stints there.
You can't claim all 3. You can't.
Well, he tries.
It's like my old man is... I think this is... which is worse? Claiming Ohio State,
your old man.
Duke, or
no, dude, you've talked to me about this.
Yeah.
Dude, your old man is the worst.
The New York Yankees.
Get out of here.
The Boston Bruins.
Out.
And the Green Bay Packers.
Get out.
Seriously?
And he lives in Oregon. He's from Oregon, right?
No.
Where's he? Oh, no, he's from Alaska.
He's Alaska. He mainly grew up in Alaska.
Okay, that actually helps him because if you grow up in Alaska, I mean, you probably don't have any teams.
You do get to pick and choose if you're from somewhere that doesn't have any teams.
Yankees,
Bruins, Packers.
It's a regional conflict.
Get out.
And his always thing is like, he's like, well, his dad was from Wisconsin, and when they were young, they spent some time in New York. No, then pick the New York teams. Then be a Rangers, a Yankees, and a Giants fan. You don't, so you hate, like. And then the Boston Celtics. He loves the Boston Celtics.
Course, yes.
I forgot that. He's a huge Celtics fan. You don't get to do that.
Well, how old
Conveniently has all the teams that win the titles.
Exactly.
Yeah, like what?
So he's in his 70s probably?
Yes, he's in his 70s.
So Bill Russell and all?
Yes.
Oh yeah, Celtics fan. Of course you are.
You don't get to do that.
Dude, that's front-running
But he hates more than anything else. He hates he's a bigot, like, I hate the Red Sox. But you love the Celtics? How does that work?
Does he hate the Lakers?
And the Bruins.
Yes, he hates the Lakers.
Okay.
Who has the Celtics? Yeah, it's no.
I don't like it.
No, you gotta I'm fine.
No.
If you want to pick the Boston teams, you pick the Boston teams. At least he has some connection to Wisconsin and New York. He has no connection to Boston, and yet you root for 2 of their teams. Get out of here.
I will say our boss, he worked in Austin.
Yes.
And he worked in Columbus. But he's from I don't think Ohio State and Texas are the same to him as Duke. Duke is the one.
Yeah, he loves the Dukies. He loves the Dukies.
Because his dad's a professor there. I think his dad still lives out there.
That's fairly legit. He goes out and visits Carolina. I'll give him Duke. I'm not giving him the others.
Yeah, and his claim to fame is he hired who's the guy
Spielman, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
And I think he worked with Herbie too back in the day.
Well, I think he hired Spielman to work with Herbie or something in Columbus.
Well, pick one.
And he won't shut up about it.
Pick one. he knows what we're talking about.
And by the way, neither are even on the air there. Oh, does he know? Is he listening?
I don't know.
First time for everything, huh?
I can't tell. If he is, he's being very stoic about it.
Okay, I got a break. When we come back, I've got 2 outside of college basketball sports notes.
Little nuggets.
College football. And one pertains to Oregon State baseball. We'll get to that next. It is 5:48. We're out at A at the Stadium Sports Bar and Grill. It's Isaac and Suk on the Fan.
It's time for a Ducks Report.
Correct.
The Open is correct. Okay, a couple little nuggets here. We're emptying out the notes for a Friday.
Did you
come
see
hard
this?
on a Friday. God.
Wow.
Did you see this story about the offensive tackle, Caden Proctor?
Yeah, the Iowa kid to Alabama to back to Bama.
I heard the joke that he just went there to watch Caitlin Clark for a season and go back.
Well, he didn't even go for a season, did he?
No, for a basketball season.
Yeah,
because he didn't go for a football season.
No, he never played a game there.
So there's this he's a 5-star kid. He's a big offensive lineman.
Yeah. He started every game for Bama this year as a freshman.
Yeah, his name's Caden Proctor. He was at Alabama, but he originally committed to Iowa.
Yeah, and he's from Iowa.
He's from Iowa. He commits to Iowa.
Yeah.
And then he goes to Bama.
Yeah. Well, if you've
But then
you've seen Iowa's offense, you understand why he went to Alabama.
Yeah. But then, after the season, the transfer portal opens. The guy goes to Iowa. He transfers.
Yeah.
And he didn't just say he was. He went to not Ames, but Iowa City.
Or is it?
It's in Iowa City.
Is it Iowa City?
Yeah.
Why did I think it was in Des Moines?
I have no idea.
Are you sure?
Yes. I would. I would bet $1,000.
All right, I'm looking at this.
Is it a deal?
I'm looking.
Bet?
No.
Oh.
I just want
I think
know.
it's Iowa City.
All right, I just want to look.
Yeah, it's a bit of an upset that Des Moines does
Yeah.
not have one of the major schools. But it
Iowa
doesn't.
City.
Yeah.
You're right.
Okay. So I win $1,000. You owe me $1,000. My Venmo is at IROP.
Clearly.
Okay. No. So yeah. So he goes to Iowa.
Yes.
For 2 months, he's at Iowa.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, I don't know if he's actually enrolled in classes or
Well,
what.
he would have. I mean, it was during school.
Yeah, it was
so
during school, so I would imagine he did.
Yeah.
Now he's transferred back to Alabama. What is happening?
Now,
Is he just trolling Iowa?
Well, and there were so many people that were like, he just came here to take the NIL money, and the collective there, whatever the name of it is, they call it the Swarm. They're saying that he did not get a dime of collective
What a
money.
douchey name.
Yes.
Yeah,
the
you can't.
Swarm.
You can't just go for 2 months and collect money and then leave. They're not just gonna.
I mean, you probably could.
I don't think you could.
Why couldn't you?
Maybe it's time to grab a hold of your little step ladders and go ahead and climb out of my ass for a while.
I mean,
Your little step ladder.
If you went there and someone handed you a check, you could be like, thanks for coming. But they're claiming I read a thing where the Hawkeye Collective, the Swarm, says that you actually have to do charity work and put in time before you get money.
Oh, charity.
So he has not gotten a single dime. At least that's the story that they're saying.
Do you really think that could happen? Like he could go to Iowa, collect money, and then just go back?
Why couldn't you? You could.
If he did, everyone will do that.
Well, yeah. I mean, the NCAA said that they are not going to investigate any new NIL sort of thing. So pay for play is absolutely a thing right now. And as long as you went during the open, because there's a transfer portal window that opens in December, and then there's one that happens obviously after spring ball. So you could easily go somewhere, get money, and leave. And I'm not going to say he solely did this, but there's a lot of people who think that Quinn Ewers did this. So Quinn Ewers, and I don't know if it's still this way, but Quinn Ewers was from Texas. And in Texas, the state law was that you couldn't get money NIL as a high school player. So he reclassified and went to Ohio State and took, they said, close to $1 million from money from Ohio State and never played a game in Ohio State, redshirted. And as soon as his redshirt year was over, he went back to Texas, got a bunch of money. And so there are a lot of people that think that he just up and left to take Ohio State's money and never had any intention of playing at Ohio State. Wow. I don't know if there's any truth to that, but he did it. But he did stay technically a football season as opposed to Proctor. That's awkward to leave your school, go somewhere for 2 months, and then call Kalen DeBoer back and be like, hey, But when you start all 14 games for a national title type team, guess what? They let you come back.
Yeah, I was going to say, DeBoer loves it.
Well, there's all this talk. I love these tough guys that are always like, well, screw him. He doesn't want to be here. Get him the hell out. Well, guess what? When you're one of the best freshmen in the country, you get to do this crap, and suddenly they open your arms. Now, if the third-string punter does that, my guess is Alabama tells him to go take a flying blank. One of these days, I honestly think that's what's going to happen is that when this turns into more of a unionized sort of thing, you're going to have to be able to sign these kids to contracts.
Exactly.
Where
they have to commit to something.
They're going to have to commit to something. And my guess is it's going to be something along the lines of a little bit like the NFL, where if you really believe in a kid like this, you're going to sign him to a 4-year contract where you're going to have to give him more money, more NIL money or more revenue sharing money. And then he's committed. He's not going to be able to go anywhere for those 4 years. But if you're a 3-star kid, my guess is you're signing a 1-year deal. Where after 1 year, if they don't like you, hey, dude, get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
But that eventually is going to come. And until that happens, unfortunately, the wild, wild west of the transfer portal and stories like this, where a kid goes to Bama, goes to Iowa, never plays a game and leaves again, that's going to be real.
So he committed to Iowa, played at Bama. So he committed to Iowa, decommitted from Iowa,
yes.
Played at Bama, transfers to Iowa.
Yes.
2 months later, he's back at Bama.
Yeah. The one, too, that I'm confused in all this, and I know no one cares about it, but my son is transferring right now from Central Washington to Portland State.
Oh, okay.
And
what sport? Volleyball?
Water polo, right? So he's entered the normal kid transfer portal, and just because they're obviously 2 different states, right? The process of making sure that all of his, because he's put in 3 years of college, he's going to go to Portland State for his final year. Putting all that stuff together to get all his credits transferred over to make sure that everything's good, and it is a process. It sucks. It blows my mind that the kids like this, these transfer kids, how does this work?
They just bounce around.
You're just bouncing around.
Somebody handles it all.
You're leaving in the middle of semesters, by the way. It's not like this is,
their importance to the institution is important enough that they get people to help them through all those transitions.
But
that's what compliance is for.
But some of this doesn't even make, you're leaving in time frames where they're not even, you're going in the middle of semesters and it's.
I know. It is weird.
The academic portion of this, it is. The idea of a student athlete, if it wasn't dead already, my God, this is like a 12-inch metal nail right through the heart of it.
One last note.
You think that kid's going to school?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. I have an Oregon State baseball nugget for you.
Oh, number 2 in the country, right?
Yep. 3. I thought 3.
In college baseball, there are 5 polls.
Yes.
So in one of them, I think they're second.
Yeah. Well, which one do we trust most?
I don't know.
Baseball America?
There's a lot of... Sure, let's do that. There's a lot of polls.
I think they're number 2.5.
Let's go. I like that.
Look, they're top 5.
They're good.
They're really good. They're 18-2. They're playing Washington tonight. I saw this little nugget about... Well, actually, I looked it up. So this is an original nugget. Did you know that Oregon State baseball... Well, no. Let me just give you a trivia question.
Okay.
So Oregon State baseball started in 1965.
All right.
How many permanent head coaches have they had?
Gosh. I mean...
Permanent.
We
don't count the interims.
The interim. So, because there was an interim between what we have now. So, I mean...
1965.
Oh, God. When did Pat Casey get there?
Oops.
Because he was there a while. I'm going to say the number's got to be pretty low. So I'm going to say 5.
5 is right.
5. Yeah. That's tremendous.
They have, since 1973, Oregon State baseball has only had 3 permanent head coaches. And that includes Mitch Canham.
Yeah, who's their current coach.
Yeah.
Because who came in? Was it who was the interim guy between Casey and
his
Canham?
name was
Bailey something?
Pat Bailey.
Pat Bailey.
Yeah, Pat Bailey. But he doesn't count.
No.
So you're going, well, I guess you could count him. But it's Jack Riley, who Pat Casey took over for in 1995.
Yeah, I see it here.
And then Mitch Canham. That's it. And Jack Riley was there for years, from 73 to 95.
That, my friend, is called consistency.
Isn't that crazy? And then before that, they only had 2 other guys.
Were they any I'm dead serious. I don't know anything before Pat Casey. Were they ever good under Riley?
Yeah.
They were all right?
Yeah, I'm looking here. Yeah. They had some good teams.
It's like they made the tournament
a couple times.
And
three times.
And then Casey took them to a whole different level.
Yep. Casey took them to the stratosphere.
Yeah, blue blood. And now, here we go again.
Look
with
at
a legitimate
Mitch Canham.
national title contender.
18-2. Okay, the club. I have an observation.
All right. Let's observe.
And it is about you.
Me?
Yes.
Uh-oh.
And it only comes from these 2 shows we've done here at... Oh, I'll have another one. Please. Maker's Mark. Love you.
Just these 2 shows.
Yeah. Well, it's not about you. I have an observation from here involving you.
All right.
From these 2 shows. And I'm seriously curious your thoughts on this observation.
All right.
And that's going to kick off the club. After that, all bets are off because I'm getting another cocktail.
All right, let's go.
And there's the Juicy for Up guys.
Yeah, we love the Juicy for Up
guys. Those guys are
also
great.
Beaver fans. They're wearing Beaver baseball caps.
There's 2 Juicy for Up t-shirts out here today.
That's right.
We'll be back with the club on the Fan.
I'm George McCoy with Warren Allen, Attorneys at Law. Spring is here, and with it, you'll see faster drivers, drivers affected by allergies, and drivers with worn-out wiper blades. If you're injured in an accident, call me, George McCoy, to get what you deserve. Online at warrenallen.com.
Meet Cheryl. Hey, she's on vacation and
I've been out. Well, my God, we've been together for 20 years, basically.
Yes, we're an old married couple at
We've
this
been
point.
to a lot of events.
Yeah.
But I've never noticed this until these last 2 shows.
No.
Oh, my God, that guy. Did you see?
Why is he?
Did you see the Vermont guy?
No, he ended up like in the first row, and it
Oh,
looked
he
like
might have torn his ACL.
Yeah, he's rolling around.
Dude, he
pretty
went up
good.
for a layup and he airballed it, and then he goes down, and now he's writhing around in pain like he.
Is it possible that he missed the layup and then
No,
therefore
dude.
is faking the injury?
Watch the replay. He didn't even come close to making it.
So he may have blew an Achilles
Is that
on his way up.
That's an ACL. Yeah.
Yeah, he's not moving.
So-
Because sometimes I wonder that, like when a receiver drops the ball and then starts rolling around on the ground, I'm like,
Here, right there. Look, watch.
oh yeah, that's gone. Yep. Yeah, he blew something.
He blew it.
Yeah, that's a
And
plant.
he blew it, and he
Yep,
blew it.
And he blew it. Right? Yep. Yep. That's an ACL.
Yeah, he's toast.
You can see the knee wiggle. Oh God.
Ouch.
And that's the worst part is when you pop something, when you've ever torn a ligament, there is not a like, hey, what happened? You're like, yep.
I knew it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's no good.
So my observation in these last 2 shows is how many dudes, and maybe it's just where we are.
No, it's
and it's
not.
very bro-y here.
Yeah.
This is a thing you deal with all the time.
All the time. I know. You mentioned this to me
Dude.
off the air, and I'm like, yep.
So just to set the scene, we are off to the side of a big sort of, stadium setup, right?
Yeah.
It's like everybody's looking the other way. Like they're not looking at us. We're
No.
on the side.
We're on the periph.
Yeah, exactly.
In the back, like back right corner.
But we're close to all these bros, and so all these bros are walking through here, cashing bets or going pee or getting a beer, whatever.
Prime people watching Perch.
A lot of traffic.
Yeah, a lot of foot traffic through here. And the number, and I just watch people as they walk by.
Yeah, you like a good people watch. Don't we all?
The number of dudes that size you up is extraordinary.
Yeah.
And they side eye you. There's a guy over here in a white hoodie. Oh, he's not there. Okay, so he's going to come back here. He's probably peeing, and in a second he's going to come right back through here, and he's going to stare you down like he wants to kick your ass.
Yep. Yeah, and when they do, I like to do the I call it the inflate. Because as they walk
You puff
by,
your chest out?
everything gets a little. The chest comes out a little bit,
Dude,
and they pull their shoulders back.
What is happening? What is that? Is that a Neanderthalian? Like, what are we doing here? Are they wanting to kick your ass? Are they wanting to see how tough you are? Are they wanting to? Dude, it's like every other guy.
It's a lot. It happened to me. I was telling you, it happened to me in the bathroom.
Do they want to bang you?
I don't know if they want. I don't know if they want to fight or it's something more sexual.
Is
I'm not
everyone
certain.
gay?
Do you think they're wondering if they could beat you up?
I think that's what it
I
is.
think there's an element of that, like in his
Yes.
eyes, like I bet I kick that
Well,
guy's ass.
I think maybe many of them don't see you. They hear he is right here. He kind of did. He was a little more subtle that time. But
Well, it's 'cause I
dude,
made eye contact.
and he struts. He struts. He struts by you.
Yes, that's why I said. That's why I call it the inflate, because as you walk by,
Yeah.
the shoulders have to go back,
Yeah.
and you rise up to your full height. The chin goes up, and the chin.
You guys are. So I feel like Buck's on it. I feel like Buck's right. I feel like they don't see you often.
No.
Because I mean we're radio guys, you know, and they see you in the wild, and they want to size you. They're like, how big is he? Could I kick his ass? How tough am I? I think you're a measure of toughness for people.
I'm a barometer, if
Yes,
you will.
I think you're a toughness barometer for bros. I've just learned this.
I hate to tell you this, dude. It happens
All the time?
The time.
So what do you think it
You
is?
know who finds this hilarious is my gal, my
Yeah.
special lady
She
friend.
sees it too?
She thinks it's what she just laughs all the time. Concerts.
Well, I just want to know what's in these guys' heads. Like, what are they? What are we actually doing?
I think there's a lot of insecurity. I think that's part of it. Like you said, I think they're
The Juicy for Up guys just came through.
I love the Juicy for Up
They're
guys.
great,
Yes.
and they are housed. And He just gave me a thumbs down. He said, college basketball, very bad. Very bad. They're losing all their money.
Yeah, it's not going so well.
So anyway.
When you've had that many beverages, I'm not certain that, making coordinated bets is the best way to do it. Yeah, and some people.
So it's a big guy thing?
It's a big guy thing. It's a big guy thing.
Do you do that to other big
God,
dudes?
no. I go out of my way to not do that.
Okay, but you have a tendency. So that means you have a tendency to want to do it.
No. I understand what it's like to be sized up, and so I will never do it to another big guy.
Okay, but let's talk about if you were to size up another dude.
Yeah.
Why? What are you doing?
I don't.
But why would you do that? You obviously know you're in that sphere.
You're in the sphere.
It sounds like you're doing an in-head calculation about what the fight would be like.
Yes, exactly. I think that's right. That's what dweebs like me think. Right? Like you're looking at him like I could kick his ass.
I will say sometimes the worst place is the gym. Is hands down.
Well,
the gym is by far the worst.
To our point.
Yes, there is. To your point, it is some sort of weird high tea, sort of. I think it's primate, top of the food chain sort of crap.
Bingo. That's exactly where my head was at with it, and I think that's right. I think it's just innate.
Yeah, I think
it's innate. What's the word? Damn it! It's just it's primal.
Yeah.
It's like who's the alpha in the room, kind of.
Yes,
a thing.
it's alpha. They're sizing up alphas.
There is definitely 100%.
And yet it reeks of insecurity,
which is why you just don't do it. It's why you try to diffuse it the best. Like people all the time say this, like, I bet you people don't mess with you. And I laugh, and I'm like, it's the exact opposite of that.
Yeah.
If I go to a concert and people are having beverages, the one person that they do mess with is me.
They want to test you.
All the time. It's unbelievable.
I'm going to start testing you.
Oh, it just drives me bananas. Because
I need to get my high tea on. Let's do this.
Yes. Well, if you go... when you're in a gym, right? Like I can be lifting something, and when I lift, I'm like my head's down. I don't look at anything, and I'm like I put off just leave me alone. I'm just in my own little area. I can't tell you how many times someone comes over and does one of two things. Hey, can I work in? And I'm like, yeah, absolutely.
Work in.
Yeah, like they want to do what you're doing.
Yeah.
And you'll be like, yeah, what do you want? What do you want me to put the weight? What you got's just fine. I'm like, really? Like no warm up, no nothing. You're just going to jump right. Yeah, I got this. Or they will sit down right next to you and just stare a hole through you.
Really?
While you're lifting something.
That happens to you?
All the time. All the time.
Dude.
And you're just like, holy Sheebus. And even worse is like when I go to a boxing club or like jiu-jitsu, you think it's bad there. That is the absolute worst because there is actual conflict.
Well, yeah, now you're stepping into the
yes.
That's where it should be. Look, if there's one acceptable place for this to happen, it would be there. Outside of that, there's another one. That guy right there sized you up.
I have had people show up.
So is that guy right there. That bro right there sized you up.
I have had people show up, have other people tell me, like, hey, is Sue going to be there? And I'll be like, and they'll be like, yeah, he comes to this class. And they're like, well, I'm coming. They literally show up there just to come fight me. And you're just.
So weird.
Yeah, it's
so weird.
It's a thing. And
it's a thing.
And probably because you're on the air and there's an element to that too. And, you know, the football thing and, you know, it just, it happens. It happens.
I just never noticed it until, like, it is prominent out here.
Yeah.
And I don't know why.
Well, and two, I look like a jerk. Like you joke all the time that I have resting like bitch face, and that probably doesn't help it either. Because if I'm sitting here looking at my computer, and I'm not paying attention to someone, I look like there's a scowl on my face, and I probably like, look at this a-hole.
Kind of a smoldering, brooding look.
This guy thinks he's like a badass. I bet you, you know. And you're like, I don't.
Yeah,
like,
there's a little bit of that, but
I got one look, man. I don't know.
Yeah, dude, that's fascinating.
It happens.
So funny.
It happens. I don't know. Maybe we want to like stretch and shower together. It's just it's part of it.
I want to interview the guy in the white hoodie.
See what's up. This smoldering stare.
I want to break this down.
Yeah.
He flipped you off. That's fantastic. So obviously he was listening.
Well, that's my buddy.
Yeah. Well, he came up and was staring you down, and then he flipped you off. All right. We got a break. Too much fun for one segment. It is 6:21. Up next, I don't know.
Something.
Let's have another cocktail together.
Let's.
It is The Club on The Fan.
The Fan is live on YouTube, Twitch, and now Window Nation brings you the window into the Fan. On-demand YouTube video shorts with your favorite fan shows and hosts.
combination.
That it is.
Yep.
But, it's fun. It's the business we're in.
Yeah. I have a go-to, like if you're at a bar and that ever pops off. I stole this from Robert Downey Jr. But it's the best line in the
Wait,
diffuser.
he's not a big guy.
No, it's from a movie though.
Oh.
It's from a movie. And I always do the standard thing. Give everyone an out. If someone's like doing the big guy, like tough guy thing at a bar or at a concert or whatever, you always do one of these. Look, maybe you can kick my ass, maybe I kick your ass. I don't know. Maybe you're Bruce Lee. But either way, one of us goes to the hospital and one of us goes to jail. And that sounds like a really crappy night. So let me buy you a beer, and why don't we just let it go? And if you do that, most of the time it works. Even with high amounts of tea and alcohol, you give them an out, and then we can all go about our merry way, and it costs you $6 to have a beer and go away. You go over there, I go over here.
Doesn't it? I was thinking about this all during the break.
I love that you're fascinated by
Fascinated.
this. It's a world that you are unaccustomed to.
Well, yeah, it's not my world, but
No.
humans are funny.
Yeah.
This goes back. You were talking about it being primal.
Yes,
It
I think
goes,
it is.
And by the way, if you're just tuning in, we're talking about the number of bros that size Sook up.
Yeah.
They don't say a word to him. They just walk by here and size him up. They side-eye him. They look at him.
And
they bow up.
And it's always been that way, but let's say the last 7 or 8 years that I really started to work out hard and got in better shape, it's only gotten progressively worse and worse and worse. The bigger you get or in the better shape you get, the worse it gets.
The primal nature of it, you wonder if that's just... Oh, I lost my train of thought. Damn it. That's the maker's mark.
Yeah, it happens. The primal nature, you wonder if it's like, what, just hardwired in the DNA?
Well, no, it is. What was my thought? I can't remember. I've come hard on a Friday. I'm coming hard on a Friday.
Well, if you've ever been around, military guys, cops, football guys, there's just...
Oh,
there's a lot of that.
Well, I think it's just the idea that humans are kind of awful.
Yes,
right? Like
we're violent.
It comes from that. It's like you go all the way down to you cut everything to the core.
Yeah.
Human beings want to dominate other human beings. It's like,
yes.
And it's a bit of a stretch to say what we're talking about is that. But it kind of is that. Like,
Absolutely.
Why else? I mean, there would be no
You're
other
not
reason.
wrong.
There would be no other reason to do that. It's like we are innately wired to want to dominate our competition.
Yes.
Like we want to take the other.
That's some monkey stuff.
Yeah, it's monkey stuff.
It is.
That's exactly right.
Go watch Chimp Empire sometime.
Yeah.
And by the way, I think it's on Netflix. It's called Chimp Empire. They follow the biggest group of chimpanzees in the world. I forget where it's. I think it's in Africa. But it's really good. Called Chimp Empire. Marshala Ali.
How were their brackets?
I don't think they did very well. A couple of them die in brutal ways. But if you watched that documentary, dude, that is the best explanation for why there's bro culture. It's leftover DNA.
It's monkey stuff.
It's monkey
You're
stuff.
right. That's the best way to say it. It's monkey stuff.
And also, too, it's funny that a lot of times, you watch that chimp documentary, right? So they have the alpha male, and then he's got his little minions kind of underneath him, and then there's the also-rans. And the also-rans will try to befriend or do things to the bigger chimps to kind of curry favor, because it works both ways. Because I will get the big guy, right, that sizes up. How much you bench, bro? I could kick that guy's ass. And I'll get the other one, too, where the smaller guy will come up to me out of nowhere and will give me one of these. Dude, I'd never mess with you. I bet you could kick my ass. And you're like, what? I don't, you're like, thanks. I don't know. I appreciate it. But it's like this, the smaller guy will de-escalate it. He's just like, hey, I just want you to know, there's no conflict. There never was any conflict.
Yeah, where does that come from?
But I get as many. I can get just as much.
It's like his instinct to protect himself.
Yes, I will get just as many of whoa, big guy. I don't want to make you mad. I'm not mad. I'm not talking to you. I wasn't looking at you. I bump you. You bump into someone barely. Whoa. I don't want to bump into you. What?
Fascinating.
Yes. Yeah. I had a guy once. I was at Slow Bar, and I was with my lady friend, and the
big time Japanese.
Yeah, I was with the BTJ, right? And the bartender, there was a male bartender. Normally it's 2 female bartenders, but there was a male bartender in there. A super nice guy. And I'm walking up to the BTJ from behind, and he comments about how pretty she is. He's very complimentary. And I walked up from behind, and he immediately starts profusely apologizing to me. And I was like, what are we doing? And he's like, I'm gay. And I was like, thanks for telling me that you're gay. Like, what are we? And he was terrified that I was upset that he was hitting on my BTJ.
Yeah, he thought you were going to kick his ass.
And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, all you did was say that she was really pretty. I was like, in what world does someone go up to you? And like, he was like, I was like, dude, it's great, man. I was like, yeah, she is pretty. Thanks. Like, you know. But like, there's that stuff too, where you get sized up. And then on the other side, you get the guy that wants you to know that under no circumstances are we going to have conflict. And I always let that guy know, sure, dude, we won't have any, I promise, because I don't want to fight you. I don't want to.
Yeah, you know who that guy is? He's low T bitch. How about that?
So it goes both ways.
Weird.
And I guarantee every guy that's bigger, or every guy that works out, or every guy that has kind of that look, they know of it.
Yeah.
I
can see it.
It's prevalent.
It's a world.
And some dudes love it. Like, some guys love that.
I feel like Will Ortner loves this.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah. There's some dudes that love the fact that other men look at him and are kind of like, oh. And then he walks around, he's like, damn right. Like, I got this. Yeah. What's up?
So funny.
And you're like, oh my God.
All right. Well.
And then meanwhile, I always laugh about this. I tell people all the time, you ever want to be humbled? My professor, my coach, whatever, like your sensei, whatever leads your little martial arts crew.
Ooh, sensei.
Sensei, right? We call him professors or coach. The guy that trains me is 5'4" and weighs 145 pounds.
And he could kick all of our asses.
He would maul me.
Ooh.
I mean, and I don't mean just maul me. It is not even competitive.
Yeah, isn't that interesting?
You know, and no one, outside of looking at his ears, if you saw his ears, you might be like, well, don't mess with that guy. But he is...
the ears are the key.
The ears are the key.
Right.
But he is like, when you see a Wolverine, like if you're a grizzly bear, or like a cougar, you may think, oh, this thing. And then the Wolverine rips your throat out. He's a little Wolverine. And I just pity the dumbass at a bar one day that looks at 5'4", 145 pounds and says, I'm going to bully this guy. I hate to tell you this, but your head is about to go up your arse, and he's going to bend your arm into a pretzel. He is just, you know, and that's... So you got to be careful with the, I'm bigger than this guy. Well,
okay. This is okay, so when we come back, I want to talk to you about how I view all of this stuff.
Yeah, because you come from a very different...
I'm not in that world.
He's a pacifist, dude.
Yes.
Let's talk about that element. Let's talk about that element of it. But we'll have to do it next. Here's Buck.
Now, from the Fan Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
There's a drop for everything.
And Suki is gay.
33%.
So,
like a little more than a quarter. I mean, I can admit that John Cena is an attractive man. I mean,
did you see him naked on the what was it, the Oscars?
Did I ever? I'm gay. I'm gay. I'm gay.
By the way, that drop right there.
What is that from?
You just said it last segment.
Oh,
when you were telling the story about being in the bar and the guy who was apologizing about making the comment about your big time Japanese.
Oh
my God! You didn't even know that was you.
I can hardly hear the.
Yeah, no, you just said that. By the way, great clip, Ryan. Ryan Buckley, I got to tell you, Ryan Buckley is doing a great job this week.
Yeah,
don't get me wrong. I like the tatted up whore too. See.
See, that one got me today. I did not see that coming. That sideswiped me.
Well, I like classy women.
And I enjoyed it.
And there's a place for the tatted up whore, but the classy women are where it's at.
I understand.
So we're talking about male dynamics and guys sizing up Big Sook. No. And I wanted to share my perspective on this because I don't live in that high tea, I'm going to kick your ass world. Yeah. Like, that is so odd to me that you're wasting your brain power and energy on something that, first of all, won't happen. Like you said, it's like we're not going to fight. No. Like, so what is just the look at this security guy. Is that guy going to take you down?
That's right. I don't want to. Look, I'm sizing him up right now. I don't want any trouble. Actually, that guy's a paramedic. He's not a security guard.
Oh, okay.
He's there in case someone has a stroke.
And they might.
It's possible.
It's just really. That whole world is really funny to me because I think as a dude who's not in that world.
Yeah. It's a stupid world.
Well, it is. First of all, it's contrived. Like, because you don't know who's tough and who isn't.
Nope.
And you better not underestimate anybody.
Nope.
Like you said about your jiu-jitsu gym. But I just feel like, from my perspective, I don't operate in that world at all. But I also feel like if push came to shove, and it would be a lot of shove, dude, I'll scrap.
Yeah.
Okay,
Rob will throw down.
I'm not afraid.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm tough.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that if real scenarios happen, where
fight or flight, right?
Dude, yes,
yeah.
I'm in. Let's go. I'll
kick
protect
your
my
ass,
wife till the
bitch.
Yeah. Exactly. So it's just.
Well, I gotta ask you this. Okay, so different world, but a same kind of general idea.
Okay.
You get invited to play in a let's go Waverly, okay? You invited out to Waverly for the
what's up, bro?
The member guest.
Yeah.
Portland Golf Club, something high end.
Have
right?
I told you my Waverly member guest story yet?
No, I don't think you have.
I once played in the Waverly member guest.
All right, then I'm asking this legitimate question. So you go out to the member guest. You're a good stick, right? And you're going to the member guest. You know there's going to be good golfers out there. That's not for hacks. They're going to be good golfers. When you're out at the driving range, when you're out at the putting green, right? Or do you at all kind of look around and do I know him and I heard that guy's a stick and hey, look at that guy over there. Do you do any of that? You know, you're sizing up the competition. Is that a thing when you're getting ready to play in a tournament?
No. I will look for people I know.
Yeah.
But I don't look at. Well, the thing about golf is, you can watch somebody on the range.
Sure.
And that is, he could totally kick your ass on the course.
Yep.
And you could think he sucks by watching him on the range. So there's really no correlation there. But no, I don't.
No? That's interesting because I think most people do.
Do they?
You may be uniquely removed from this. Because I think same thing, like if you ask the average person, they go to the whatever, LA Fitness, YMCA, I don't know where, 24-hour fitness.
So when you walk into a gym?
No, I'm saying because I'm taking the gym out of it. The gym is 100% a thing.
I think in general this boils down to comparing yourself to your peers. Like it's not, it's less about being dominant or whatever, but like if I was at the range and I'm about to play in something and some guy is mashing it off the tee, I'd be like, whoa, I bet he's better than I am. And not because I want to kick his ass, but I'm just you just naturally compare.
That's why I wanted to remove the gym, because the gym is the worst place in the world for this. It's awful. That's why I said you go into one of those 24-hour fitnesses that has a basketball court, right? And you go out and you're going to do a pickup game. I think everyone in that gym immediately starts looking around and is like, that guy sucks. This guy can dunk. This guy's 6'9" in black. I want that guy on my team. This little white guy, oh, crap, what's he doing? He's playing way too hard a defense. I don't want anything to do with that. And I think it's that general, we're all getting together, and I think there is a collective trying to sort that out. And I think the dumb bro guy can't remove that basketball, golf, competitive nature from just everyday life. He thinks that we're in some sort of game when I'm sitting on a bar stool. I think the more I've thought about it, I just think it's that. I think it's that sizing up primal thing that we do, basketball, golf, anything that's competitive, and they don't know how to turn it off, and they don't realize how douchey it is to do it while you're just sitting down in a real world.
But there's nothing competitive here.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. But they can't turn it off. They don't know how to turn it off. That's what I said. Like it's just the most disingenuous thing because, like you said, nothing's going to occur. We're not going to fight here. We're never going to, we're at a casino. It's not going to happen. But they have an inability to turn it off.
Okay.
I think most people, 99% of people do it in competitive situations. That's why I went with the driving range or I went with the pickup basketball
game. It doesn't matter
game.
Where you are. Yes. You're looking around going, am I the best here?
Yeah, and in those realms, I think it's acceptable and almost like I don't know.
Expected.
It's expected.
Yeah.
It's expected. Everyone is doing it together. But when you do it out in the wild, you kind of look like a, that's when people are like, seriously, dude, like you look like a jackass.
Huh.
But yeah, I just think that's all kind of tied together. As Buckley said, it's whether it's I can kick your ass or I can kick your ass at golf.
I just want to see where I rank here.
I mean, I bet in the business world, it's dudes at the sea level wondering if the guy next to them drives a nicer car. I mean, it's it's similar.
That's so true.
Oh yeah, dude. Well, that's 100%. Again, pull up to a country club sometime and watch someone pull up in a Ferrari and everyone instantly be like, oh, well. I mean, there's a lot of Mercedes here, but that guy's that's got a Ferrari.
So bottom line here is all we're trying to do is prove we're the alpha.
Yes, prove that we have a bigger dong than the guy next to us, and prove that we have a hotter girl and that we make more money, and that deep down you know that I'm more man than you, and whether that means I can kick your ass or that I can fire you, it's dumb. In what dumb way can I make you feel less about yourself and me better about myself?
It's just survival, right?
Yes.
That's what it is. I want to survive, and in order for me to survive, you must perish. Down you go. There was another one.
Another one. And that one wasn't ironic. That was a one.
No, he wasn't. He's not listening to us.
No,
he was
that was just real.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be back to wrap it up after this on The Fan.
The home of dirt and spray.
I'm dirt. We have houses.
to so the whole hour has been dominated by high tea, bro, and male culture.
Yes,
which is great. It's a good set. It's a good hour.
Well, it kind of fits in what we're doing here, and you know.
Yeah, it sure does.
We're out here at the
Six bowing up right now.
Bowing up.
I was just talking to Kim.
Full-on cowboy boy.
I'm gonna kick your ass. Kim is our GM.
Yeah.
She happens to be female.
Yes.
And they've been out gambling.
Sure.
So I was telling her, she's like, "What's the club about tonight?" I told her, and she's like, "Oh," and this is something I hadn't even thought of, but she's right. Women are worse.
Yes.
They are.
Yes. Women hate each other.
Yes.
So very
Women
much.
size each other up more than men.
Way worse. You ever want to see something really get ugly?
Yes.
Find a group of butter hogs. Find a good old group of Milwaukee butter hogs. Right. Let's go to like
butter hogs.
You go to like a club in Sheboygan, Wisconsin, right? Like a nice country bar in Sheboygan, Wisconsin, and you drop an LA 9 into the middle of that place. It will be like a fine piece of tuna getting dropped into a piranha tank. That 9 is going to get slaughtered.
That's right.
Those hogs are going to come
right.
back. They're going to form, and those hogs hate each other, but they are going to form a coalition of the willing.
They're going to feast.
And they are going to devour that gal.
You're right.
That is a real
She's right
thing.
She's right about that. And so that got me. That made me feel better. I don't know why, but I was like, you know what? You're right. It's just a human thing. It's not. It has nothing to do with males.
No, it's just
people.
It's not human. It's monkey.
Yeah,
it is
that's
monkey behavior.
That's right.
Because whatever you think, the truth of the matter is, what are we?
We're monkeys.
We're 99% chimpanzee. And if you've ever watched, again, and the chimps are the most violent freaking things on the planet, minus us.
Yeah.
We're the only thing more violent than chimps.
Yeah, we just like to kill each other.
Yes.
Beat each other up. By the way,
what do we got?
My prediction was Longwood would not score more than 12 points in the first half.
Yeah.
We're at the first TV timeout. They have 0 points.